Yeah.
I think it's fine to just play
Yeah. So
this list as it is. Oh, you could play like one Hercules, but you have 4 Steel Sabotage already for Shops. Shops versus Doomsday is one of the, I would say, most 50-50 matchups I've seen.
what if they sideboard 4 archive traps?
I think maybe it gets like slightly favored for them then, but not really.
Right.
What does Dispute stop that Fluster doesn't? Good question. I don't really know. It's probably like Narset, Leobold,
Wall Breacher, yeah.
Hull Breachers, Oracles in the mirror, maybe. Yeah, it's mostly those, I guess. It's like blue non-creature permanents, or blue permanents, not non-creature permanents. Oh.
Yeah, so I've never played this. Well, sorry, I played this deck like maybe twice. This like the vintage one, and I really did not have good results anytime I tried it. So.
Oh, I played against it. I played a league already today, and it was with the bug deck, the Sultai deck.
Yeah.
And I played against it, and I think my opponent could have won the match, but they punted 2 games away. So yeah, I think that's normal. The deck is just very hard.
So I copied someone's list mostly, but they played a Watery Grave, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I don't think Watery Grave is bad. I just haven't played a list with it before. I can see the need for it, honestly. I mean, maybe it's better than like one of the fetches. Yeah, maybe I don't know. The problem with Watery Grave in this deck is that you sometimes lose a lot of life anyway, so the shock can be kind of detrimental because you pay half your life, Street Wraith, Detect and Probe, Vampiric Tutor, Necropotence. Like sometimes it's kind of, but at the same time, this deck really wants to just spam Underground Seas. Like you don't want Swamp.
Right.
Swamp is like some versions have played Swamp, but number one, you can't fetch it that well because you prefer Island usually. If you are on one, like if you play around Wasteland and you want one basic, it's always Island because with your cantrips you will find your Dark Rituals and Black Lotus. And if you have more lands, there is no reason to like get basics at all. So you just want to play a bunch of UCs. So I think Water Grave makes sense in games where you get like Wastelanded twice or 3 times, and then for some reason you're missing on the 3rd Black Source. And also, like, the downside isn't so huge. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played with it before. We could try it.
You know something just bothering me? Why are there 3 Scalding Tarns and 1 Flash Strand?
I mean, that's probably also because of the consult thing. But
oh, is that it?
It would be better. So for consult, it would be better if you have a lot of one-off fetch lands, but you can't really do that. So there is a certain way of splitting where it matters.
Okay, I guess
also people play Sorcerer Spyglass, so you could, for Sorcerer Spyglass, you could play 2-2-2-2.
Mm-hmm.
But for Consult, you could play like 1-1-2-3. I guess no 1-1-3-3 could be also a thing, I guess. But if you already use the fetch and then you find another copy, I think it's so marginal. I wouldn't really think about it. If we add a Watery Grave here, I would probably cut a Scalding Tarn just to hedge a little bit more against Spyglass. The island thing matters much more than the fetchland thing with consultation, because sometimes if you consult into the island is like your mana source. But if you consult into a fetchland, it doesn't really do anything. So
right. I don't know. A lot of small things to think about, but I've also never done well with this deck, so I'm not sure.
I would just cut the Tarn for a Watery Grave, just see how good the Watery Grave really is, because I'm interested in it.
You have to go get the correct Watery Grave.
Yeah, so the reason why this deck doesn't run Cavern is that the mana of this deck is really like, even though you're 2-color, you need triple black a lot of the time, and you don't always have Dark Ritual. Sometimes Dark Ritual gets flustered or misstep and stuff. So drawing Cavern is like literally a dead card for the comp turn, right? Like in Legacy Doomsday, you can sometimes maybe cast something else with it, maybe, but in this deck, it's like literally a dead card, or you cast Time Walk with it, I guess. So the best thing you could do with Cavern is like, there's some piles where like Cavern would be nice, but usually you can like just recall into your pile and then put enough Flusterstorms or whatever into the pile to protect the Oracle anyway, or you have 2 Oracles anyway.
So, I guess before we get started, why don't you just give a quick 2-minute explanation of how this deck generally wins? Well,
it's pretty easy. You cast the card Doomsday, which says you can search your library and your graveyard for any 5 cards, and put them into your deck in the order you prefer. But you also lose your half your life rounded up. So, and then you exile the other cards that you didn't use. So at the end of that, there will only be 5 cards in your library and the Doomsday in your graveyard that you just resolved. And from that point on, you have only 5 cards in your library. So Thassa's Oracle gets much easier to win the game with. Like Thassa's Oracle needs to have like either a lot of devotion or you to have very little cards in your library. So you just Doomsday and then you draw the Doomsday pile that you just built, the 5 cards, and then you play Thassa's Oracle and you win the game. And there is a lot of different variations of piles. What is that?
It's the number of piles you can hypothetically make with the 60-card deck with Doomsday. So when you say it's...
I think a lot of them will not be relevant.
I know. I'm just doing this to prove a point, which is you say it's... The easy games are easy, but I think the harder games involve getting the obscure piles that...
The thing is, the deck is hard, but also a lot of the times you just do the same pile. Mm-hmm. Like, Ancestor... The fact that in Vintage you have Ancestral Recall and Black Lotus is so warping for your gameplay that you almost always put those 2 cards into your pile if you can, if you don't already have them. So it's really easy to recall into your pile and then Lotus, and then you have a bunch of mana that you wouldn't have in Legacy, and then you play Oracle and protect it with Flusterstorm or whatever.
Okay.
Or just put 2 Oracles.
Then we're down to 185,000 piles if we lock in those 2.
Yeah, that's already...
Hold on. You have to lock in a Thassa's Oracle, so it's actually... Okay, cool. We're only down to 3,192 piles.
Wait, is this number all the 5 card piles, or also...
The top one was. The top one was.
Is it? So, but it's not thinking about the orders, right?
No, this does track order.
Oh, this does track order. Okay, good.
So actually, if you want to erase the order, you just divide by 5 factorial, and that erases this symmetry of order. So.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also just doing that jokingly because actually all of the lands like kind of overlap, and you would never like do that. There's a lot of piles that just you never ever do. So that number is an upper bound. It's not really like the average one. I'm just doing that to prove a point that the joke is tutoring 5 times. If nothing goes wrong, it's easy to win. But if something goes wrong, it's hard to account for all of the weird corner cases.
Yeah. Some things to note that can be interesting when building piles is, or that can be unintuitive is, first and foremost, if you already used your Lotus to cast the Doomsday, you can just put it into a pile afterwards and just use it again.
Yep.
Then you can technically put a fetch land target into your pile and then fetch to reduce the cards in your pile very easily without like doing much. And then like all the cards that draw into your pile for 0 mana are really good, like Jutax Improbe, Gush, Street Wraith. And there's some ways, like sometimes you play against Narset or Hullbreacher or Leovold, and there's ways to win through those with piles sometimes. Like You can time walk to get to the next card.
Right.
You can portent to still draw the card.
Mhm.
You can ancestral during your opponent's turn versus in our sets to draw a card and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And also sometimes you can just put Demonic Consultation into your pile to make it easier.
Alright. Question for you is... Oh, actually, there's an undo bug with Doomsday. Chat, tell me
Yeah.
how to not crash the game. Someone tell me how not to do it. I need to know because I don't want to crash the game for no reason. Stefan has a Twitter. It's King of Traders. Because he's the Trader King. Don't click undo. Oh, you can't put consultation in because of mill 6. Right?
No, you can put consultation. No, I'm saying like, okay, so I wasn't explaining this well, but a lot of people play endurance in Vintage right now. Like
Right.
the bug deck plays for endurance. And to play around that, you can sometimes, to reduce the amount of cards in your pile when you play the Thassa Oracle, you can put consultation to your pile. And then just draw the consultation, play Oracle, your opponent will go for endurance, and then you can put consultation. But yeah, no, you can't consult and then, yeah, no, that's true,
No.
but I was thinking something else.
Consultation is like counterspell for endurance, essentially.
Yeah, consultation is counterspell for endurance.
Okay.
For any amount of endurances.
Well, no, that's not
that
true,
matters
because
people have multiples.
No, if they have 2, don't they just endurance you?
Well, no, I mean, like, if you had a force of will instead of the consultation, it would matter that they have a second endurance, for example. But a consultation beats both. Yeah.
Oh, because it exiles your library.
It just exiles the cards that they just shuffled in, and then you can't put anything back into the library because you just exile everything. So you would just put the one consultation back into your library.
See, this is the galaxy brain shit that I don't think I would figure out by myself if I thought my opponent had endurance. I'd probably just like put a force of will in my deck and lose to double endurance.
Yeah, but sometimes they only have one, so it wouldn't matter that often, but yeah, it matters maybe. Sometimes.
Well, let's just try to figure it out. I don't know. It's
just jam.
Jam. Oh look, we already have Canister and Stainerson. They're ready. They're ready to go.
Tryhards are already there.
Ooh, Tommy has 2 trophies. He's catching up. Wow, we instantly got a match? Alright. Uh-oh.
Tommy has some trophies?
Yeah.
2, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, he could be on anything. He could literally be on, Well, also he doesn't have to multi-queue, so his attention is ready.
Ready. Yeah, not double queuing is definitely helpful for tournament success.
You have to water your grave.
Oh, really?
We did. I cut the Tarn.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was shocked by the. Oh, I see. We were playing against Tristan, I think. Yeah. So this hand, I think it's a keep.
Yeah.
It's not great because Vampiric Tutor isn't the best card to like depends on the matchup, but yeah. Generally, what you want to do here is like see what your opponent is, and then figure out if you go for a fast Doomsday or if you can play slower. So yeah, you would keep, and then you just go Tarn Pass. I think there's no reason to main phase Cycles 3 Brave. Like this hand isn't likely to turn 1 your opponent or turn 2. Like you could turn 2 your opponent with the right draws, but I would just land pass.
We're ready to play Death Shadow. Look,
It's funny because in this deck, Death Shadow would very often be live, but I don't know. I've seen people do that, like playing Death Shadow.
Right. Yo, what's up, Demonic?
Yeah, turn 2 doesn't feel that difficult, but we also don't know what we're playing against, so...
I know what we're playing against now.
Okay, it's shops.
What?
We don't care about that.
that's like blue or red shops.
What's Tristan playing? What?
It looks like KCI.
Oh, it's the KCI deck.
I like KCI. So
the problem we have here is if we vampiric for Doomsday, we can't like.
Should I just cycle one Street Wraith first?
Oh yeah, I would cycle a Street Wraith and see what we draw here. Brainstorm.
Should I just cycle another, then Vamp Tutor? Like, if I draw, there's a lot of cards I can draw that make Vamp Tutor a lot better, right?
I think yes, because you have Gush to draw into the pile. So if you didn't have Gush, I would be wary with that. Okay.
So I could also Brainstorm End Step and upkeep Vamp Tutor, because there's a lot of hits you could hit.
Yeah, we probably want to do that. I was just thinking if there's other reasons. Yeah, I think you want to do that. I don't know if I don't think the KCI deck plays any like wastelands or anything, right? Or maybe it does, but not that many. So we got Doomsday. So
okay.
So I think we got a kill here.
Alright.
And it's you would upkeep Vamp Tutor for Lotus, fetch UC, play Doomsday, float blue, play Gush.
So I'm putting Tutor and Island back, right?
Yeah, I think it's Tutor and Island probably. It doesn't really matter. It's like a yeah. You don't need the make sure to upkeep the Tutor and Lotus. And make sure to fetch before you cast the Doomsday. Because otherwise I mean it could work even without but okay, so now you just Lotus Doomsday. And then we're gonna build a pile.
Alright.
So make sure not to undo anything here.
Yep.
So we have 5 cards. Gush draws 2 means we have 3 left after that. So if you draw into recall, you can get to 0 cards. I don't know if there is anything that Tristan could have that would like interact with us. So we were just gonna do that. Just take Lotus, Recall, Oracle, and then like a protection card, like another Force of Will or Flusterstorm, probably.
Or Daze, right?
Or Daze. Oh yeah, they're tapped out. Daze makes sense. You can also take a second Oracle here.
Sure.
There's ways to make this safer, but I don't feel like they have anything in their deck. It's like they're just dead, I think. So you just pick. Now you just click done, and now and now we have to make sure to not do the wrong order because you can't undo. Otherwise, you would restart the game. So it's like
one Oracle on the bottom. I think is free.
Yeah. I think you actually put Oracle, Daze, Oracle, and then Recall Lotus or something. It doesn't really matter because you're gonna draw Recall and Lotus at the same time. And now we do that. Yeah, and now you Lotus for blue, Recall yourself. There was better ways to do that pile, and I just realized that Daze isn't like Daze is only half protection here because we don't have the.
So I should have put another Force in the pile, I guess.
Yeah, it was another Force, as I said, but I don't think it mattered here. Like the other 2 cards could have been anything, unless he has like main deck double Mindbreak Trap or something, or like main deck Archive Trap. So that doesn't really matter.
So
yeah, I think it's pretty clear what you want here. Flusters are bad. Misted is bad. Dispute is bad.
The question is if they have Archive Trap, if I want to leave in like some counters for that.
Oh, you definitely want to leave in the normal counters, but I'm not sure if you want Fluster. I think Duress is a better way to deal with Archive Trap usually. It depends though. Like it's sometimes Duress doesn't do the thing with your pile. You could also bring if they're really on KCI, you could bring Leyline, but
I'm not going
Like-
to do that until we confirm. I think that's like.
And they could also not. They could also not be KCI. Mindbreak Trap can also be good against these type of decks, but it's a reactive card,
Yeah.
which is probably not what you want.
I'll just submit. I think, right, and not mess. I don't know about
Necro. I think I'm not a Doomsday vintage. I'm not a vintage Doomsday expert, but I think some people, like especially the Doomsday experts, they side out Necro in like half the matchups.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a matchup where you do that. I think against Ravager shops, for example, like when they have a lot of Revokers or when they have a lot of creatures that deal damage to you, Necro is bad. But I think in this matchup it should be fine. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want Duress or not, but other than that, I think we are gonna maybe Trap is good because they play Talisman in addition to Moxen, so it's like if you have Trap in your opening hand, it's always live and hitting something. So maybe you side out like the Portent for the
I
Trap.
already submitted because I didn't feel like I needed that, but
Yeah, it's fine. I think Trap is like it would only be for on the draw, I think, but well.
So if you if you draw Mana Source as a turn 1 kill, actually, right?
You could like crack for blue, preordain into black source, and then you win.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're supposed to keep.
So how? I'm not sure if it's a keep, but it could be a keep, and especially if your opponent is the KCI deck. I don't know how many like sphere effects they really have.
All right, I'm keeping.
I don't know if this is a keep, but
I'm not a coward.
You could actually there Saga. Volt. Okay. The other Volt. Getting affinity vibes here.
It's workshops with blue with blue mostly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, that's really
this
good.
is a turn 1. So to maximize our outs here, I think you fetch UC, play Lotus, and then you crack Lotus for blue and cast Preordain first, because you could find a Daze. Actually, no, Daze doesn't do anything, but you could find a Force. Yeah. So Lotus, blue. Yeah, you preordain for foe here. No.
Oh!
I said you.
Fuck,
I said you should cast it off Lotus.
Oh god, you're right.
Well,
fuck.
okay. If they don't kill us next turn, it doesn't matter, but that obviously might cost us.
Should I just bottom both then?
Wait. Maybe black 5, 4.
Oh god.
So
do that?
I don't know, but so no. The main question is what are they going to do next turn? So could they well, they could kill us, I guess. I don't know if they have any interaction actually. So yeah, I think I would bottom both.
Yep.
Just hope to draw Force, because that's probably your best bet by now.
Hmm.
Also, a Mox would have done it. I guess the Mox Jet would have done it. Yeah, I don't think you want to cast Doomsday here. I mean, you could cast Doomsday and set up, but I don't know. Yeah.
I can always consult for Force of Will if I need to, by the way.
You could do that, yeah.
I mean,
and you still have enough, still have enough mana for Dark Ritual Doomsday after that, so it's not the worst. Dom says just undo.
I kicked it out the window. All right, maybe they don't have.
I think their deck might just be. Yeah, they don't have much interaction, so I don't even know what they could have here. Maybe they could have like.
They hypothetically could have Force of Will, by the way, in their deck.
That's true. They could also have Fluster Storm. Okay. So let's think this through again. I I would start off, honestly, I would start off by casting Dark Ritual off Underground Seer. Because that plays around a lot of things. Because now, even if they counter the Consult, you can draw into a pile maybe that wins. So now I would cast Consult, I think.
Okay.
And see if that... So, actually, wait, no. But maybe that's bad, actually. No. No, I think, actually, no, I think you have to cast Oracle first, yeah. And then respond to the trigger. Because otherwise there are no cards in your deck that you can recall into. No, never mind. That was obviously... So, yeah. So, yeah, now you Consult.
We just
so much nonsense for nothing.
I was gonna pick play of the game, by the way.
That's a good one.
There's
Better than +2 mace.
A +2 maces. Oh god.
We could have consulted for a git probe and then Doomsday to foe on top blaster. Yeah, we could have done that. I don't know. I just don't know my opponent's deck, our opponent's deck that well, so I wasn't sure like what's gonna happen at all. Like, are they gonna kill us? Are they gonna play some interaction?
Also, that's risky. The Doomsday thing is risky versus Archive Trap.
Yeah, they could also have some interaction with that. Yeah. But yeah, so they might have been on some KCI deck with, or like on some shops deck with blue.
Tinker is bad and KCI is broken. That's a weird assertion, especially since you could Tinker for your KCI and just kill your opponent. So I don't know what's going on there. No, I think we should have tried to kill our opponent on turn 1. I mean, the best defense is a good offense, I think, and a lot of the time. Last seen deck 13 days ago, bug. But that's 13 days ago, could be anything. Like,
so this hand is good enough because you can turn 1 Mox, Sapphire, cast Brainstorm. Otherwise, it would be a mulligan, I think. But I think the fact that you have that makes it a keep. Because with this hand... Huh.
Great.
I see. With this hand, you don't need to draw many things to win on turn 2.
They have the... Oh, they're going to 5? It feels like a Bazaar deck, then.
It's probably Bazaar, yeah.
I mean, it could be bug, technically.
Could also be shops, and they know that we're in Doomsday, so they multi a sphere or something. I would just, yeah, do that. So we have to turn 2 here, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna save the probe.
I would not cast the probe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe put Street Wraith, or maybe, I don't know, it doesn't... I would put Street Wraith on top, actually. But I don't think it matters. It's like, you definitely want to play the fetch land this turn, to not play into Wasteland or Strip Mine. And then you either have a land or the Street Wraith for the land, I don't know.
Right. So probably Golos shops? I guess we'll find out. Forcing any sphere. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well then you just untap. You fetch away the Street Wraith, I think.
Great.
Then let's just do it again. UC, Oracle, response to trigger, consultation. Is this the conclusion of today? Opponent plays Saga, we kill them. Next one. I don't know.
It's just so free. Just turn 2 Oracle Consultation every game.
Yeah, if you had that combo always, it would be kind of broken.
I think Saga is good in Vintage based on my playing a bunch of decks the last few days. I actually think the best Saga deck is Golos Shops by a lot.
Okay, so we probably play against a sphere deck here. And this time I would bring in Mind Quick Trap on the draw. Because they tend to turn one a sphere after that.
There's also a chance they're PO, right?
Yes, that's true, actually. I didn't think of that.
Should we 50-50 hedge for PO versus shops?
Yeah, I think I would definitely side out the... I don't know, what's better against Archive Trap, Fluster or Dispute? Probably Dispute, right?
Yeah, I think...
I don't know, actually.
I'm gonna pretend it's like 50-50 PO versus shops, so...
Yeah, like, side out one Fluster at least. And you need to bring in Steel Sabotages, because if they're shops, you want them.
How about I only side in two? On the idea that they're 50% to be shops. So I was impressed with Saga with Crucible of Worlds RWCU. Golos Shops is a person deck.
You could side out Chain of Vapor for
Sure.
for one of them, because we don't know if they are.
I could just side out Misstep both ways.
You could side out Misstep, yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna side like this, and I don't know. We'll probably find out more.
I would bring one more Steel Sabotage, honestly. Simply, it's not that terrible against PO sometimes. And then you side out one counter or Portent.
Alright. See you later, Portent. We don't need you. I don't really understand why the Portent's in the deck besides get around Narset Hold Reacher, I guess.
Yeah, it's for in Doomsday Mirror, sometimes you can Portent your opponent that just made a pile.
Oh god. I have a really good Portent story which I'll tell after this match. No, I'll tell it after this match.
I see. Sounds special.
It definitely is special. This is probably good enough.
It's a keep, yeah. It's a keep. Lines up decently against most things they could have.
We're good versus PO and Chops. Alright, so it is PO. Told you, I had a feeling.
Okay. Well, at least...
Our hand's pretty good, though, so...
So, I would... Actually... Yeah, I would play land and then probe. Because our hand is a little bit slow. We kind of want the information. So what do we see?
Tinker, Force, PO, Seat, Cluster. Wow, that's a really good hand, actually.
So the Tinker next turn could be annoying. Tinkering for Citadel. They do that.
So what I can do is try to steal sabotage the Citadel with the first spell in the stack, and I think I'm supposed to. So they'll go land Tinker. Oh, that doesn't work out great because they have a lot of...
They just forced the Steel Sabotage, probably. Yeah. But then you can maybe trap something in between afterwards.
Yeah, like exactly. That's what I'm thinking about.
But... And then we can end-step Vampiric for, and that's a question. What do you mean Vampiric? Oh, I see. Yeah, I think I have a plan. I think you play Marks and you pass. But... Yeah. And then we will maybe Vampiric for interaction for the Citadel later, or we Vampiric for a Dark Rit or Lotus, and just play Necro and hope to draw forces with Necro and stop them. But yeah, it doesn't look good for us. What? They're playing that here? That's interesting. So Necro goes through Narset, right?
Yep.
That makes me want to let Narset resolve and then end the Vampiric.
Yeah. I mean, we can't even do anything to Narset anyways, so whatever.
Yeah. Ancestral, pooh. Yeah, you can fetch don't think there's a huge difference in keeping fetch or not. I could even fetch that board grave here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I was
But
supposed to do
no,
that.
no, that's fine, no, because then you would tell them that you don't have luster, so it's better to fetch UC. Yeah, and here would probably get. It's either Darkerit or a Lotus, I think. You could also get. You can technically get Daze, and then Tutor for Lotus, so that you actually resolve the Necro. But I don't know if that does it.
I think that's good, actually. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would. It's looking grim for us. I don't know what else we can do, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Like, there's also lines with Oracle and Consult, but they're also all not like looking great.
We can also get our land drop back if they.
Yeah, if the days the Necro
Which is kind of
or
nice,
the Lotus,
actually.
and then you have Sabotage open for whatever.
Look at all the skulls. 3 skulls. So they have to force, right?
They probably should, because otherwise we might draw into too much interaction for their Citadel.
Right. They probably should pitch Paradoxical, right?
Yeah, they don't really need that with this hand, I think. It's also not good here. Like, they could maybe bounce the Narset at some point, but that's like long con.
What?
But it resolves. So another question is, how many cards do you draw? I would probably. So there is a limit to how much you can draw because of Doomsday. You need to be over. I think was 6 the number. I think 6 is the number that life you like. You don't want to go under 6, because if you're at 5 and then you Doomsday, you can't probe anymore. So you can I think I wouldn't even draw more. Yeah. Maybe one more. It's really hard to know how much you really want to draw, but I think around this is probably correct.
So back in the old days, I used to hold priority because of Curse and Grip.
That's a good point.
That's a long time ago. That's why I was holding control. But
yeah,
it's an old habit. Probe is relevant for the information only. It's obviously not relevant for the card.
Oh yeah, with Narset in play, it doesn't really matter. That's true. Oh, okay. So, but like Street Wave during their turn can be relevant. So, let's think about this. We need to discard 5. Our next turn is gonna be something like Mox Sapphire, Dark Red. We have 3 black, 2 blue, and you can Doomsday, but you can't draw into the pile really because of. Oh, actually, no. You can. You can use Necro next turn to just get through the pile.
Exile or library, right?
Yeah. So that means that you don't need Street Raves. That means that you probably don't need the Ponder
or the Dooms. Oh no, we need the Doomsday.
You need the Doomsday. Probably don't need the Ponder.
Or the Gush, probably.
Don't need the Gush, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then you need one more card. I don't know which one.
Probably Steal Sabotage?
Yeah, it's either Steal Sabotage or Mind Break. You need one pitch
Mind Break here.
Yeah, then let's. Actually, maybe we don't need the Sapphire. No, we need the Sapphire. We need the Sapphire, exactly, yes. That's bad. Yeah, then it's the Steal Sabotage, I think. Yeah. Probably. Yep. Has to be it. Necro vs. Narset is hilarious. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Necro hasn't aged very well, but it's still giga broken.
It's. I think it's at its best in this deck, and this is like the only deck. Oh, did they miss on Narset? That's
interesting. So they're ancestraling. We can't really. I mean,
we just let it go.
We just want them to cast more spells, actually, for the Mind Break. This is probably. Oh, it's top. Yeah, whatever. Who cares about?
So they're leaving up Flusterstorm, I guess.
Yeah, if we draw a land, it might
We
not
can't
matter.
draw a
but-
land.
Oh yeah, we can't draw cards. Yeah, I mean you could necro, but no.
No,
We just untap
Necro
here.
puts it into your hand at the beginning
Yeah,
of your
at
next
your
turn.
end step. Yeah, no, I know, but we could do that still.
What if I go
So yeah, the cluster it
Ritual
makes it kind of hard. But
Doomsday first?
so let's imagine they only have Forest Cluster. You
Yeah.
can Mox Dark Ritual. Let's say they don't. Yeah, it doesn't work out kind of because the problem will always be that the Doomsday just will not resolve. I think you play Mox and you Necro like two or three times. I don't know how much. You need enough that you can Necro 3 times when you have to pile, but Doomsday costs half your life. You actually can't really Necro that much anymore. But maybe this is our only way to win. Maybe you have to Necro like 2 or 3 times here.
What if I just go Ritual Doomsday and see if they let it resolve?
I mean, they will not let it resolve, I think, but you could try. I don't think it will go well. I think it will just get countered, and then we have no income left.
Okay.
I'd actually just want them to cast Tinker and hope that like they mess up or something. Necro, I think I would only Necro once, just to get to the 7th card. I think. The Fluster makes it really hard. Sabotage. And now at least we have a pitch card, I guess. But...
Problem is we can't really get them to
Nicholas has a very good point. Maybe we should not have ditched the Ponder, because we can actually cantrip Ponder because we don't have a draw step. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. I'm not used to playing with Necro against Narset. Okay, yeah, so we just die very slowly to this Saga, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, well, at this point, you probably have to go for it, but it will just... Yeah, it probably won't... Okay, I mean... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, at this point, I think you just Dark with Doomsday. Because you will die to Saga within 2 turns, and you don't have a real draw step. Yeah, so this is 3. I mean, you can theoretically force a copy, but they will just force back. So, maybe it's good to just let it get countered and then Necro again.
Probably supposed to like Necro for... Actually, maybe our out is actually Demonic Consultation, right?
Yeah, maybe you just find that. Maybe you should Necro for 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Then you can still force once. Or maybe it's 3 or 4. It's 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, Necro for 4 makes sense, I think. Okay. Okay, then you just discard Misty and Force? Or Misty and... I don't know. I think Misty and Force probably.
Well, what's our plan next turn?
Well, we're kind of dead. Yeah, Lyserg, I was thinking about that. Could have been 3 as well. It's 3 or 4. We did 4. Maybe it was 3. I don't know. You kind of have to discard Force because you can't force twice anymore.
I think we're just dead, but we'll see what our opponent does. We really
Yeah,
needed them to tap
if
out
we-
in some window, and they never did, so...
If we did it for 3, we could have. Well, still 3 didn't do anything, right? Then you would still go to 1 can force. Would have needed to do it for 2 exactly. But doing it for 4 looks deeper for consultation or tutors. I don't know, vampire, mystical tutor, I guess. Yeah, we are kind of dead. I mean,
I'm gonna see if I can trick them.
maybe they don't counter this. And then maybe they don't counter the Oracle. I don't think that happens.
Well, I mean, the Oracle doesn't actually do anything, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I mean, you just put 4 or 5 random cards and pass, and then you still sabotage their construct, but they will force it. No, I would just concede. I would just concede. I think we, if we had done it for 2, maybe there was a way to win, but
Mhm.
but also then you don't look deep enough for consultation. So either you draw black mana and dark red. Yeah, I guess maybe we should have done it for 2. I don't know, but
Alright,
okay.
I want
So
these
we
steel
know.
sabotages out of my deck.
Yeah, they are kind of bad now. You want Fluster and Mister back. You want. I think Opposition Agent is fine in this matchup. I think also
I agree.
Duress is fine. You definitely want Duress. I don't know what to side out for Duress. Maybe you just shave a 3 Wraith.
I don't really like this card that much.
I mean, now that we know it's not Chops, I mean, it's. If
Am I
it's
supposed
for
to
any
library
matchup,
as
isn't.
well?
Oh yeah, Library isn't that bad in this matchup, actually.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you can side this way. I feel like if we don't bring Trap against PO, though, like. For what matchup is it really then?
I don't know.
The Mira? I mean, I think it's for PO, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to side out. Maybe the Agent. But Agent is good against Tinker.
Agent's also good for Saga.
Oh yeah, I guess Saga is a good point.
Is that out Mystical? I don't really like
Oh
that.
yeah. Actually, no. No. I think in the blue matchups you usually shave the on top tutors, Vampiric and Mystical. But yeah, I think actually I like that. Side out both tutors and side important again.
Oh.
Because they have Narset.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I forgot because I was still in the shops mind. Against shops you want the tutors, but against PO and the mirror and stuff, you don't want the tutors, I think. Their card disadvantage and it's kinda bad.
I see.
Yeah, in grindy matchups it makes sense. So this hand is clunky as hell, but I think I would still keep it.
I'm just gonna Psycho Street Wraith first before anything.
Yeah, I think you start off by cycling Street with this hand. Yeah, I think you probably start off by doing that.
They're going to
Like,
fight
I'm not.
again? Holy shit. They just are Giga London Mulligan person.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's how you play PO.
Maybe
Sometimes you want to keep the Street Wave there so that you can draw into the pile, but we're so far away from Doomsday anyway, so you just cycle it first. I think that you can like look as deep as possible for stuff. Oh.
I think I should still cast one of these looking for a land.
I feel like yes. True. Like, I mean, you could pass and then not so bad. No, I would probably cast Ponder here because it looks the farthest for a land.
I think you should just shuffle. Oh wait, I mean,
everything is kind of good, but we don't have the mana to do stuff with it.
yeah, I'm just gonna shuffle.
Kind of complicated.
Okay.
Okay. Huh. I think you're supposed to cast Preordain.
I agree.
Because Ancestral is not likely to resolve. Bottom. Okay, that's nice. Now you can finally pass, and then.
Yep. Crisis averted. If we didn't draw a land there, it was going to be really bad, I think.
Yeah. Okay, they're not doing stuff. So the question is, do you even cast Recall? I don't feel like you want to. I feel like you want to untap and use Brainstorm for something. That's pretty good. I think I would main phase Brainstorm because hitting a third land is pretty good here. And if they counter that, it's fine. Like you don't care. Because then you still have the better one.
I guess they're thinking about flustering this?
Yeah, I think if they do that, you're like, okay. You definitely... So I don't think you want the Oracle.
Or the Dig.
Why are you looking at the Dig? I think the Dig is really good here.
Actually, maybe the Time Walk is not great.
I think you just bottom Oracle and Oppo Agent. Like, I don't know what... You don't need those cards. You just try to hit lands now. Like, those cards, like, don't do anything. Like, Oracle doesn't do much here, right?
Okay, yeah.
And the Oppo Agent, like, you need a third land already for it, so...
Okay,
I think you're just gonna put those back, pass, and then end step, you're gonna cast Recall, and if they counter that, it's fine. Because then you can main phase dig into a land plus business.
Should I just Ancestral with this on the stack? Probably, right?
Oh yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah. Bottom filthy creatures.
That sounds like a filthy lantern player to me.
Okay, I think they're dead. This is a pretty simple kill actually. So you play UC, you fetch, you play Dark Rid, then you cast Demonic Tutor with the Dark Rid mana and see what happens. Because if the tutor resolves, you get Doomsday. Okay, you get Doomsday, and then you Dark Rid again and cast Doomsday, and you have double force. So if this Doomsday resolves, you can either Time Walk into the pile or pass. I think I would prefer to Time Walk into the pile. So now with Force, Pitch, Portent, I think, because that's just the worst one. And they might force back. They don't. Okay. Now, so it's pretty easy to win here. I think the pilot's something like I mean, there's many ways to do that. You go to 7. You definitely want at least one Oracle, and then you kind of want max mana. That means maybe you want Gush. God, yeah, like you draw. You have 4. You play Gush. You have 2. You play Probe. Yeah, you don't need Recall in this pile. I think you want Gush, Oracle, Probe. I think Probe is good. And then probably Lotus and Fluster, or a second Oracle, I don't know. It's probably Lotus and Fluster, yeah. And then we stack in a way that we have the Fluster on top. But they conceded, I think. But what we would have done here is we Time Walk, we untap, we draw the second Fluster so that... Oh no, we draw the Gush actually. We draw the Gush. And then with the Gush, you draw into the Probe and the Fluster, yeah. Never mind, but obviously you need to draw the Gush first with the Time Walk, but yeah.
I'll tell my Portent story real quick. I'm playing a Legacy side event on a Friday at a Grand Prix. I think it's like Cleveland, what was the format? It was Team Dominaria Limited for the main event, but I'm playing a Legacy side event. I'm playing Grixis Deathrite Delver, because why would you play anything else? I go to 4 cards for some Miracles opponent, and I scry. I keep a no lander, and I scry top, and it's a land. My turn 1 Miracles
Okay.
opponent portents me, and I force. And I untap, and I decide that, okay, well, I guess I'll cantrip now. Look for some things. I see like a Wasteland and a Daze, so I keep. They miss their second land drop, say go. Their land is a Tundra, so I just waste them. And then they just don't do anything for the rest of the game. And if they had just ported themselves, I don't think I even force.
Yeah. That's so greedy of them. They like portented you.
Elvish
Okay.
Mister GG's. That was a match full of cards.
That
Yeah.
was a match
So
of cards.
yeah, Doomsday's really good. I guess. I don't know. I guess we haven't played
It
a
is
single
kind of
archive draft.
broken because it's one of the only decks that is allowed to play all the broken black tutors plus all the broken blue cards,
Mhm.
and then it can kill very fast. And most of the hate that is targeted that target shops and bazaar decks doesn't really like do anything against you. Like the card that's most relevant against you out of the graveyard hate cards is Endurance, and the card that's most relevant against you out of the artifact hate cards is Collector Ufi.
Mhm.
But the other all like don't really do much. So it just has this supreme metagame position where like it's really really hard to like justify playing a deck that like has enough cards to beat shops and bazaar decks,
Mhm.
and also can beat Doomsday. Like
Mhm.
it's usually better to just play Doomsday, I think. But at the same time, now there is Endurance, and the Bug deck plays for Endurance. Like the Bug deck could be a reason to not. The Sultai deck could be a reason to not play Doomsday. But I
Right.
think it's very. The matchup is still very close. I don't even know who is favored. I think maybe Bug is slightly favored, maybe not. And then like the main draw to Doomsday is you kind of just steamroll the Bazaar decks. I feel like most of them.
Mm. Yeah, I guess if you have a fast hand, you probably do, but it's kind of. Yeah, Nicholas, they didn't have. I think in this scenario I described, I believe my opponent was sitting on a bunch of Swords to Plowshares, but Wasteland invalidated all of them. I don't know, like when you just keep like Tundra, Portent, a bunch of plows versus Grixis back in the day.
You would definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, really, their punt was just portenting me when I was on like 4 cards because I'm like forced to force.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The situation is like if they could have cast the same card targeting themselves, and then you wouldn't have forced it, and maybe they could have won.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they made it so that you have that they took away your options, and it was worse for them.
I'm
This
just like,
situation also happens against Ragavan in Legacy, kind of.
yeah,
Sometimes when you turn one bolt or play or like bolt the Ragavan, they will always like daze it. But if you turn one ponder, they might not counter it, and then
mhm.
you can untap and bolt it. I don't know. It's a very similar situation, I think. Portent is also kind of a funny card, I think, but also hasn't aged super well. There were times where tempo decks played Portent.
There are
But
also
that's
times where people played Serum Visions and like a
Serum Visions, yeah,
long time
and
ago.
Opt,
I think Opt
and
is not that bad. Alan maintains that Opt is not that bad.
and what's the card called? Rushing River.
Oh yeah, that's Dave Kaplan, one of in Canadian Threshold back in
Yeah, the
forever
old
ago.
school Rushing River 2 off in the deck or something.
Generally only one because like you don't ever want to draw a second copy of that card.
I
It's
guess so. I've seen versions with like one main, one side, or two main. But that's like
oh yeah,
mostly the versions without bolts.
oh yeah, Mystic
Uh,
Enforcer.
they had more rushing rivers usually, or the blue
Yeah,
green ones without splash.
yeah. Then everyone realized that Search for Azcanta could just get wastelanded if you flipped it, so it wasn't actually that good. Werebear.
Yeah.
Werebear has the best flavor text. It's the right to bear arms. Which is it's actually a pun for so in the US Constitution they talk about the right to bear arms. That's what it's a pun of.
Oh, I see. It is a right. It is your right to bear arms. I see.
Yeah, Callum had no idea it was a pun either. That's why we're telling you, because you're British, you're not American. Alright, in the downtime, do we have a we do have a sub. Before the stream, FGCMTG subbed.
Oh.
From the Miracles chat, which you're still in probably, and I've long since departed. Oh, this is like a blue-white Miracles card.
Yeah, this is like Terminus, but it's basically Terminus.
Well, so I'll tell a story about that card. It's 2009. It's a limited Grand Prix in Boston, like actual Boston. I'm 6-0, and I queue into some noob named Reed Duke. He's clearly a noob because no one has heard of him back then. But at this point, my sealed deck was blue-white splash red. I had 2 fireballs, planar cleansing, and like a broken planeswalker. I don't remember which one. I used my planar cleansing to wipe out like 5 creatures. Then Reed drops Platinum Angel and Whisper Silk Cloak on back-to-back turns, and I'm dead. I'm like, wow, maybe I could have played around this somehow. And then like I just lose both games to Platinum Angel plus Whisper Silk Cloak because that's like it's basically the hard luck.
Whisper Silk Cloak. Sweet.
Well, Whisper Silk Cloak with Platinum Angel is really egregious. Like it's like most decks cannot beat that, you know?
I know.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we have to open another chest. Right. Coat of Arms. This is like the biggest casual card ever.
This card probably costs a few dollars, even though it's
Yeah.
though it's like maybe not anymore. It used to cost a few dollars.
So do you know the first extended Elves deck played that card and Overrun before Pro Tour Berlin? Then
okay,
all the pros...
I had no idea this deck existed. Wow.
Well, no, this was the Elves deck, but people just played bad cards in it on like MTG League or Cockatrice. And then all the pros were like, why don't we just cut those cards and play more engine cards instead? And then Pro Tour Berlin happened and Elves like dominated the PT.
I see.
This was the Glimpse of Nature, Predator Dragon, Court of Calling, Elves PT.
Oh.
But
yeah, I didn't know that people played that, like the actual tier Elves deck had that card, the 5-mana artifact.
It didn't.
Overrun.
It's just the first version you found on Magic League had that card and Overrun. But
I see.
Someone figured out that the rest of the cards were actually good, and then they just cut all of the bad cards to make a better deck.
Just cut all of the bad cards.
If you cut bad cards, your deck becomes better generally.
Who would have thought?
Insanity MTG. I come for the MTG stories or Jarvis stories. I stay for the Turn 1 Doomsdays. Did we have a Turn 1 Doomsday yet?
No. I mean, we could have Turn 1 Tristan, but it was not with Doomsday, and we didn't.
And because I like cast a thing off the wrong mana source, and then obviously not great.
We're gonna have a Turn 1 Doomsday, hopefully.
Alright.
I've lost to this deck and won with this deck on turn 1 quite often. It's kinda crazy to think of how this deck can like turn 1 protected kill quite consistently. Like not consistently, but so often.
Well, let's also talk about how the list that won this PT, I believe, was actually the worst Elves list in that top 8.
Oh really?
Because it has Weird Harvest, it's so unplayable.
Weird Harvest.
You just search for a bunch of elves and like do your
I
thing.
see.
Oh well, we have a match. I'll rant about that after this match about how
it's a weird card. I prefer Abundant Harvest.
Well, that card's much better. This hand is bad.
This hand is close to a turn 1 Doomsday, but it's the wrong marks. Getting some appreciation here from the vintage community.
I guess I keep.
I keep, and I think you bottom
Chain of
Chain of Vapor unless you really think your opponent plays a
Nah.
Sphere.
Whatever. Fuck it. I'm not a coward.
No, yeah, but yeah, if you knew your opponent's shops, then you would keep.
If they do something broken, we can always cycle looking for a force. Oh, okay. So
I think you start off by probing before you do anything.
should I play a land?
I don't feel like, because like if they daze probe, it's kind of good for you. And don't target yourself.
No, I didn't. You have to pay the life.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, it looked like.
Yeah, no. The probe interface is always counterintuitive.
For some reason, it looked like that. Yeah, they blast that. Okay, we don't care. Now, yeah, I think now you actually street Wraith because you have a Necro hand. Ooh, that's interesting. So I think one thing you might want to do is play Fetch, play Lotus. Yeah, I think you just cast. I don't know if they could play Days or not. That's the question. Because you could find your own Days with the preordain, but I think you probably don't need to. I think you just jam Necro and see if it works. Because if it doesn't, even though it costs so much like resources, you still have a DT. It also costs them two cards. And so now you just preordain. And what we're trying to find here now is third mana and some backup view. That's interesting because you could keep that and you could just DT for consult. But at the same time, it's like kind of a bad card, and Doomsday probably will win anyway. I kind of want to find Ancestral or Dig here, actually. Yeah, I think I would bottom both, actually. I think I'd bottom both. Then you pass. You kind of want to have like some card advantage card now.
They pitched Time Walk. Let's see. What's this? How are you fetching for... Well, I guess we'll see what happens. But it doesn't look like Paradoxical. It looks like a Xerox deck, right?
Yeah, it looks like a fair deck. I would just play Watery Grave and cast DT.
Oh,
I
untapped?
think.
Okay.
Oh, you would. I mean, you could, but I'm not sure if the life total matters.
Probably doesn't.
And you could like keep the fetch for like Brainstorm or some other shenanigans. Ponder. I would pick Ancestral here, I think. I mean, you could technically pick Doomsday, but I think it's Ancestral.
I don't like that much.
Yeah, I mean, technically you could have also played the fetch here, but then next turn you would be shocking anyway because you want to play around Fluster. Okay, so it's like an Oko deck. Okay. Kind of want to draw a blue card now. That would be nice. That's also so. How likely are we to kill them this turn? Not likely. I think I would do it in their upkeep actually.
Yep, that's what I was looking at.
If they have a dig themselves, it's also better to wait. Okay, now we Ancestral upkeep. Okay, well, those are not very good cards.
But that's...
Yeah, we play Watery Grave because we want the 5th Underground Sea. You gotta let that resolve, I think. Can't, like, you don't want to force that. It's like not scary enough. That
And
just
they would just
draw.
pay
It's
for
just
the
one.
dispute anyways.
Just
So.
Knight's Whisper. Yeah, I wouldn't force a Knight's Whisper here, for example. I would probably kind of recall, but not that. Well, that's sort of annoying, but I think you gotta let that resolve. Because the life might matter now from the Watery Grave, but we would have shocked anyway with the next turn because we wouldn't have wanted to leave up dispute, so I don't think there was a way to not shock. A fetch would have been one less, so one more life. So what's that? Another DRS. They don't have enough black to like drain us to death.
This is Rogue Splash Black.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you play Island and pass. You really just want to draw Doomsday here. Kind of sad that like the recall just kind of flooded out.
What?
Yeah, I'm interested as to why they lead one back.
You either attack with both or 0. And if you
Well,
attack
I
with
think
0, you can
it
use the Lotus
depends
to
on
drain
like
twice.
if they have some double blue spell, maybe.
Yes.
That's kind of. I mean, you could cast that.
I don't think it'll win ever, though, right?
Probably not. Yeah. I mean, they can't really. Yeah, no. I think it's kind of bad, but I think you're supposed to cycle it. It hurts, but you can't really do much. Oh god, yeah. Seems like we're dying, but whatever. Crack Lotus to drain. You wanted to. Oh, they wanted 2 life. I see.
But the life doesn't matter. You should have just attacked, I think. Well, I guess it's leaving up. What is it leaving up?
I don't know. Okay, so now you fetch. I think it's once or twice. I think it's twice. I think you fetch twice, cast Preordain. Probably can't even play the land first, but yeah, you don't want to use this the 3rd fetch. Bottom. So I don't think you can cycle this, simply because they can just go instep, drain for 2, next turn, crack Lotus, drain for 4. So I don't even know what to do here. I mean, you could. So maybe you are supposed to Dark Ritual it out. Because, like, what else are you gonna do? Like, it's kind of bad, but. And you could have also kept the cards for a brainstorm, technically, I guess. Maybe that would have been better, but. The thing is, though, even if we would have countered a Death Right, I guess, no, we couldn't counter a Death Right there, I feel like. They still had so many cards left, but maybe we should have. I'm not sure about that. Like, I'm not experienced enough to, like, know whether you should counter a Death Right there or not. Yeah, it will just drain for 2, we go down to 5. And then we have, like, 1.
Yeah. So
we have, like, 1 turn. I think the best draw here is dig through time, because then you can, like.
But then what we can draw, like, Oracle, Gush, and then Oracle,
you can draw
Gush
something
into
with
Consultation. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. You can also just wait with the dig until they exile or something as well.
We're not allowed to force anything anymore, which kind of sucks. But
maybe we should have ritualed out the first Street Wraith. Oh god. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Maybe we should have counted one death, right? I don't know. It's like it's so unlikely that we don't find anything here because our deck is basically only cantrips and doomsdays and lands, I guess. The watery grave kind of came at a cost here.
yep, it did.
So maybe I don't know. I mean, I think we were supposed to shock, but maybe there was a way to play it tap. Okay, this kind of cuts off some more outs as well. I think we could just concede here.
I don't know. We drew basically nothing for 3 turns in a row and lost.
Yeah, that was kind of anemic.
But the water grave wasn't great for us either, so I don't know. That's certainly not free.
We could have also DT'd for a Doomsday, but we didn't have enough mana to cast it, so I felt like Recall was better there. So in these matchups, you definitely don't want Vampiric or Mystical because it's a lot about cards.
I side in Library and Duress. I don't.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the Fatal Push, but other than that, I think that's fine. Oh yeah, Chain of Vapor. What's better, Chain of Vapor or Push? That's
probably Push, actually.
It's probably Push, yeah. And then I would probably just submit. It's one of those, and then yeah.
That was a sad game. I don't know. I felt like we were okay, and then we weren't really.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we played that perfect, but I'm also not sure what we should have done exactly. Like also countering a Death Ride just didn't seem good to me. If you counter a Death Ride there, then you're like dead to any counter afterwards.
I think Library in the play I think is just Library in this matchup is just good enough because the matchup goes long.
I think there is Xerox deck. I don't know if they have Tarmogoyfs or anything like that. So if they only have Death Rides and Walkers, I think you have enough time to just skip a turn to draw the card.
That's why Library is sideboard only in this deck. And actually so few decks play this card anymore because it's like not great in a lot of matchups for that exact reason.
Yeah. It's mostly for blue slow matchups and combo mirrors.
It's like Phyrexian Arena.
Yeah, but the land, it doesn't cost you life.
It's like Archivore Zaka. I was telling that story yesterday where Flock passed me a foil Archivore Zaka, and then it turned out he took the Immortal Sun over it, which is clearly correct. I'm just like, oh, well, I guess we keep.
I think you keep this hand.
And you have to play Library on 1.
And you just play Library on turn 1 and see what happens.
It's a lot of looks.
They're searching for something.
Okay, well that's not Wasteland or Strip Mine.
They probably didn't find that something, yeah.
I mean, I think even if you want to fetch away bad cards, but you find a Wasteland, you should still waste right there. This is probably Death Right, though.
Yeah, that's fine, though. The main question here to me now is... Well, there's ways to... Well, do we just draw and play land?
I think so.
then you have 7, then you force, then you have 5. And just thinking like, if you could not play land, maybe. Okay, now you have to.
I think you're supposed to.
But then you can't force. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like
no,
if you just
that's
pass,
fine.
you draw to 8. Oh, I guess yeah. Now you just play
Probably
I don't know.
fetch.
Fetch. Yeah, fetch makes sense. Yeah.
I think you're supposed to just play your land out because they didn't waste you last turn, so they're only taking a blind
Oh,
draw.
not because of the wasteland. I just meant
Yeah.
you could just pass, draw to 8, force their Narset, and then you have 7 again.
Oh,
And
I see.
That just means that you're kind of priced into letting either everything resolve or just shutting off your library. But
Well, I think
like
there's a lot
if
of
you find
cards.
Gush or
Yeah.
Recall, you can get back into the okay. They have Strip Man anyway. Who cares? No, that's also the case where it's definitely better to play the lands. I think.
I think with 5 of this type of cards in the deck, it's just generally correct to do that.
Yeah. Okay, we don't care about that. This game we have a Doomsday, so it's different. If we draw a black source, we might just time walk and then cast Doomsday. Okay, so we have Ponder. That makes things different. I think here you want to use Ponder actually. Looking for black source and Flusterstorm. Okay, so we got the black source. We also got a brainstorm. I don't think you want the Oracle at all. And I think you draw the brainstorm.
Yep.
And pass.
And next turn we can probably assemble a kill with.
Yeah, it depends on whether they will represent Flusterstorm again or not. Okay, well, you got that resolved. That card is just not fair. Probe is always a feels bad card.
I agree.
There is no way around it. Like, the person who casts it always feels like, wow, this is so free. And the opponent is always like, wow, I can't do anything about this shit.
Gataxian Probe Ant. Cast in Flames Gataxian Probe was really good.
That's true, yeah. That was very good. Anything with Probe was very good. It looks like a stealth spell to me.
Yeah, it looks like Cruise, I guess.
But why wouldn't they? Okay, maybe they were tapping mana wrong. Oh no, they play land first for some reason.
Were they supposed to attack with their Deathrite if this was going to happen? Oh no, they left Strip Mine.
There is a dig.
Force Pitch Time Walk.
Yeah, I'm considering Force Pitch Force or Force Pitch Time Walk. I don't know which one of those I like more.
I think it's Time Walk because I think we're just going to kill them next turn, so that Time Walk doesn't do anything.
That Time Walk can be good with the kill, like. Yeah, but yeah, I guess you have Force. Yeah, I think yeah. Oh, you can actually you Dark Rid, you Doomsday, they Fluster. You pay 2 and you force 1. Ah, that's actually pretty good, yeah. No, yeah, you pitch Time Walk, I think, yeah. And you definitely want to draw your Dark Rid, I think.
Do I fetch first?
Yeah, you fetch, UC, play Island, cast Dark Rid, I think. Because that plays around Fluster. And then if they Fluster the Doomsday, you can actually pay twice and force a copy. And now you just force back.
They're hellbent, so we just kill them, right?
Think you should be winning now, yeah.
Because we can just cycle into the Ancestral that kills them, right?
Yeah, it's very easy now. You just put Ancestral Lotus, Oracle, and 2 random cards in your pile, basically. At this point, it's really easy. Ancestral Lotus.
A plus B are right next to each other.
True. Oracle. And now you can choose, like, any 2 cards. I don't know, Fluster, Extra Land. It's probably better to, like, Fluster and UC or something. I don't know.
It doesn't actually matter, right?
It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't. The only thing that matters is that you have the Oracle not on the bottom and the recall on the top. So it's like you see, yeah, you then like Fluster, Oracle, Lotus, recall, and then you just win. Like there's probably a way to build a perfect pile here if they had a card in hand, but since they don't have a card in hand, it really doesn't matter. Pretty elegant. We didn't do that on purpose.
No,
Even, but
I mean the information does matter, obviously. So
it matters, but
Doomsday
even
got
think
so
about
much
that.
better with Thassa's Oracle. Like, it really broke Doomsday sort of in half.
This deck used to be much harder.
Don't you remember
And much
Doomsday
worse.
Fetchland Tendrils in Legacy?
Yeah,
and
DDFT.
and when people play that against me, I would just laugh at them because I'm like, you're doing so much work for basically a worse Storm deck. I don't think we change anything. Like,
No, I think we're fine. I think our hand is good, kind of.
the library worked out well for us. Like,
Our card configuration of our hand. I don't know what.
library
Don't
play
mind
was good there.
Yeah, and it will be better on the draw, usually.
Yeah, I don't really like the Rogue / Deathrite deck. It seems. Well, I'm gonna keep this one, I think.
Yeah, this one is fine. It's not insane or anything, but
It's clunky for sure, but
The
I mean,
thing about this hand that's not great, actually, is that Force of Negation is not Force of Will. Because now you can't, like, protect your Doomsday. Which
Yeah.
means this hand is probably, like, playing a longer game.
Mhm.
Unless you draw, actually, Force of Will, yeah. But, or if we draw a Dark Red, we might just turn one Doomsday.
That's right.
DRS
Right.
again, yeah.
Cut him some slack. Oh, I'm not like talking shit. Oh, that's actually pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably fetch UC. Just so that we can shuffle our bottom, like... so we don't want Necro, I think.
I think the land is
Like
good though, actually though.
I think the land is sort of good, yeah.
Ryan,
And
am
the
I
next turn,
sorry.
yeah.
Ryan,
No
am I a
problem.
limited gamer? 1861 on MTGO right now, baby. Much better than my constructed right now, which is like actual dog shit. But we didn't go into the ratings discussion here.
Okay, so there actually was a reason to not play the fetch. Interesting. But yeah, I think here you actually... So we have the Necro on bottom. I think, I don't know, I'll probably UC Preordain now. But I think it's marginal. Okay, I think push actually... I think you actually want the problem is now, if they have another Wasteland effect, then keeping the push is sort of bad, but I kind of feel like this game is going longer and we have Dig in our hand, and the push is like if you get rid of this, the DRS, you get much more time.
Yep.
Obviously, if they have another Wasteland effect, it kind of sucks, but you also have another draw to like mana stores. Yeah, actually, you have like 2 more draws for that even.
So the best land for them to have would be Badlands? Badlands drain your preordain?
I suppose so, but they probably don't play that. Or maybe they do.
Oh, they're just eating. No, this is correct.
That's good, yeah. It's a
I
good
remember
play.
doing that versus Nimble Mongoose.
Oh yeah. That is just a hungry bastard, I guess. Okay, I think now the play is just play land pass. Wait for them to activate DRS and then push it, or push it under. Probably okay. I mean, whatever. Wait for them to do anything and then push it. Probably. Oh, maybe we should have pushed in response, but now they have less mana up. Probably doesn't matter. 2 life. I don't know.
I don't think 2 life is going to matter.
They could have exiled the land anyway then, so we would have lost the 1 card either way. So it was really just 2 life. Maybe we should have pushed it. Yeah. Okay, we don't care. But actually,
No,
maybe we care.
We do care.
Oh, they have wasteland. Yeah, no, we actually care. I think then it's an easy force. Pitch days.
Oh, pitch days.
Why did you pitch the dig?
Because I think they have fluster, and then I would just daze the Ren 6.
Oh yeah, no, I think now that makes sense. No, yeah, I think that's fine.
When you said something, I actually thought the opposite thing, and I had a reason for thinking the opposite thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you don't really need to dig anyway. But I thought, yeah, they could have had fluster. I guess it would have worked out either way.
So now we tutor, or do I just play Doomsday?
So they have 3 cards.
Yeah. They didn't fluster or fawn, so I don't think they actually have fluster because they fluster there like most of the time, right?
How many UC targets do we have still in our deck? We have we have the Watery Grave coming.
And we have 2 more UCs.
Oh, we have 2 more UCs anyway, so yeah. Oh no, yeah, we have 2 more UCs. Well then I would just say, yeah, I mean there's probably no reason to wait. I think you just go Mox, fetch twice, and cast Doomsday. Yeah.
Well, so the reason to wait is Archive Trap, right?
Oh, do people play that in blue decks?
I don't know. They could, right?
They could, yeah. I mean, you could also just DT for Ancestral and cast it. Maybe that's just safer. I don't know.
I think it probably is.
If we could have pitched the DT, I would have done that because Dig was kind of good. Yeah, you get the recall. I think you main phase the recall probably. Or, I mean, you could wait. I don't know. They probably don't have fluster. So
it's really hard for them to have fluster. If they do, this is obviously brilliant. But...
Okay, this is really good. I would play
the Mox.
I would play the Mox out so that because of their
Fluster
flusters.
Storm. Yep.
Exactly. Then pass, and then next turn we have a kill already. Oh yeah, you're supposed to give them that again. Yeah, you're right. I think definitely pitching the dig was correct. I was just not thinking about them flustering through the Ren. Just thought that doesn't matter, but yeah, they have wasteland. Okay, now you go fetch UC, play Island, play Doomsday. Okay, so our pile is gonna be what could they have? They could have Pyroblast.
Mm-hmm.
They have 1 red mana, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to account for that in case they Pyroblast or Gush or whatever we are gonna put on top now. Is their recall already gone? So you recall, they cast recall. Then you could daze fluster, so that doesn't really matter. Honestly, I kind of like not putting recall into the pile. I kind of like Gush, Probe. Do we still have Probe? Or is it... Oh, Probe? Yeah, it's there. Okay. Then Gush, Probe, Oracle. Because then you just draw into the Probe, cast the Probe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you would be in bolt range. So you draw into Gush first. That makes more sense. And then you have 2 cards. And now I think you can put I would put a Force of Will actually. Maybe it's a fluster, yeah. Force a
So
fluster.
we'll be at 7.
Yeah, yeah.
They only have one red source with regards to lightning bolt.
Yeah. It's either fluster or force. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I kind of want the second oracle in case they have like pyro, fluster
Sure.
plus something.
Do I
And
have
also,
enough
if they have
mana?
ancestral, this is better. Yeah.
No, I've
Like, you
already
haven't-
played a land.
For what? For what do you want enough mana? For both flusters, is what you're
No,
saying.
for both oracles, right? Or do we just
No,
say no?
we just say go. Yeah, that was the
Oh,
plan.
I see.
You play one oracle this turn, and then next turn you can play the other one with. That's why I was thinking
I
Force
see.
of Will, because that's probably better later.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we could also do it with recall, but I think this is fine. So I would do this, and then you put one oracle to the bottom, and then the next card is gonna be you're trying to gush into. The next card is only Force, Oracle. Yeah, Force, Oracle, Pro Gush. I think, because yeah, I think you want to put the Gush on the stack first, because you want to see if they fight over it, and you want to see if you can go down to 3. Because like that one mana could matter, but whatever. You might also just hardcast Probe, because their Pyroblasting is probably. So yeah, now I would probably just Fluster Storm the Pyroblast. And then like... That's funny.
What is this?
I thought it was for something. Yeah,
No,
I thought it was.
Looks like dig. It looks like
it's dig, and they don't have enough cards yet. That's funny. Yeah. So they will dig after their power hits the graveyard, and they will just daze the dig. Yeah. And now you
probe, right?
Like, now you should probe and pay a life, probably, because they could have drawn days or whatever. What?
The last card is Pyroblast. They only had one red source.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't have a land drop even. Okay, now we won.
All right.
Okay.
Well, deck's undefeated.
Seems good.
All right. We should take a few minutes because I need to use the restroom, and you probably want a snack or something. You love your snacks. All right. So I'll be right back in 2 minutes. Thanks for everyone being here, and shout out to Stefan for being here as well. Kind of late in Austria. I guess it's not that late, but it's a little bit late.
Oh, it's not that late.
If you want to support the stream, follow him on Twitter, King of Traders. Follow here, and I'm gonna get some water and be right back. Alright. I am back.
Welcome back.
Alright, what do we got? Was Foul the best choice of pile? I don't know. Probably not. Because we did actually run out of blue cards, right?
I don't know what the perfect pile there was, but
Yeah.
it probably wasn't what we did. I think it included Gush though, because the risk that you run into with recall is that if you recall and they recall you in response, they need to counter the recall. I guess you could build a recall pile, and then just the first 3 cards that you draw just make you counter the recall anyway. I don't know. It's like, yeah, it probably would have worked with recall as well. I just didn't like that the initial mana of recall is like 1, and then you need to fight over their recall if they have that.
Reminds me of standstill decking mirrors. Like where you wanted to be the last one to trigger the standstill to deck your opponent.
Yeah, I remember crazy shit happening. I never played those.
Oh, standstill used to be a really, really commonly played card in Legacy, so you would learn all of the tricks, such as wait for them to get to 8 cards and then cast Brainstorm, then they would have to just.
Oh yeah, no, I played land still. I just never had this situation. I don't know. Just never came down to decking for me. But I never played that deck much, to be fair. I was always playing tempo decks and combo decks.
Well, I think when Mental Misstep was printed, shout out to Mental Misstep being your username, Standstill like kind of became good, but then the better players realized Ancestral Vision was mostly better than Standstill. And then now you don't see Ancestral Vision anywhere near Legacy because it's really, really bad.
Formats are just too fast.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's also random hate for Ancestral Visions.
Chalice and Zero?
I mean, that for sure. That's more a modern thing, but also.
Ooh, looks like we got a Hogak Vine matchup.
It's Nan.
Do keep.
Yes.
It's not like actually the best versus Hogak Vine, but
I mean, actually, wait. The force of negation is pretty bad against him, right?
This hand's also really slow, right?
Yeah, no, I would keep this in the dark, but not against Nan.
Okay, let's just mulligan.
I think we mulligan because we know that he's Bazaar.
God. So close.
This would have been the turn 1 Necro.
Alright, well, I'm not keeping that. This is fine, actually. I mean, it's
fine-ish. It's fine-ish.
I think the Necro actually sucks for some, personally.
Yeah, I don't like Necro here. I'm questioning whether to bottom.
Is the Force even good?
Yeah, it's Watery Grave or Force. Because we might brainstorm away the Watery Grave or the Force.
Oh, I see.
Anyway. It's like one of those two. Like, I think you turn 1 Mox Brainstorm, I think.
I agree.
So that means, yeah, I don't know. The Force is kind of safer for that one action, but then you might, I think it's a grave. And then you might fetch the Force away anyway. But yeah, I would definitely start off by brainstorming, because we definitely need to hit some stuff before we decide what to mystical for. Oh damn, not a Watery Grave would have been better. Shit. This is interesting though.
So I could just mystical for Demonic Consultation at some point. Or I could just portent this turn looking for another mana source, right?
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I think you probably bottom... you probably put away Time Walk Force, and then just, I think you portent this turn.
And I can't play around Wasteland, really, so I'm not going to.
I mean, technically you could.
Well, we need a black source still, right?
I know, but every source in your deck that you find is a blacks. But still, no, but you could like draw Demonic Tutor and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, they play 5 Wastelands, right? I would get the island. I would get the island, I think. So like, the worst case scenario is you draw the other island or something, but... Okay. Does Mister do anything against them?
Deathray Shaman, I guess. Stitcher
Okay, so
Supplier. So
yeah, that does something. That's good enough already, I think. Yeah, I think you also it counters their misstep if they do that, if
right.
they run that, which matters here. Yeah.
So I think my turn 2 will just be not even. Wait, we've been scammed. We've been scammed.
It's a completely different deck. Well,
Uh,
if we wouldn't have mulliganed the first hand, it would have been much better.
yes. That's really bad.
Scammer squads.
Scammer Squad strikes again. Oh, getting scammed feels bad,
What
man.
was the other card under Underground Sea? I
Preordain.
don't remember. Preordain, okay.
I think I'm gonna play my land out now.
Yeah, I think you're gonna play your land and pass.
Am I trying to kill them?
I don't know, we have 3 cards and they have 7. I think it won't work. Gotta be honest with you.
So I'm just gonna untap and draw the Preordain then.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna draw the Preordain, yeah. I think you want the Preordain and not the Lotus. And you just Preordain again. Trying to find card advantage. Don't need any of those, I feel like.
Right.
There's card advantage. So now we have another card that they have to counter, kind of. I would probably hold on to it and just wait until they move at this point, because we're so low on cards. We kind of need to like find like a point where it like hurts them the most to counter the recall.
Yep. Like try to like.
Like if they tap out for a 3 mana
Exactly.
walker here or something, then it's probably a good time to recall. They just passed, and I would just untap. Just keep on drawing cards. Okay, I would just pass. Maybe they run out of lands and have to discard end step. That's like one way to get ahead. Okay. Okay, I guess they don't run out of mana sources. But
What are they
yeah, I would
playing?
still. I don't know.
Feels like a whole
Might be
breacher
like
deck, actually.
might be like some Grixis Whole Breacher deck. Might be some Brew Xeroxy deck. Might be PO with red, but that doesn't really look like it. PO would have had more artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's like a brew. I think we just keep drawing cards until we have too many of them, basically, at this point. Well, they're doing something. That is kind of bad. That makes me want to cast Ancestral. Yeah. They will probably counter that. Yeah, I think you missed that.
I'm paying life, I think.
Yeah, you're paying life. I mean, it probably doesn't matter with the life, but you're paying life, I think. Just doing another one. Okay. Well then, I think everything resolves. And let's see what deck does. Oh, they stole it.
So
That's
should I
so
miss
mean.
go for dig then?
That or Doomsday, but you could also just Dark Red Doomsday. But it's probably Dig. Dig is better, I think. Yeah.
I think I have to like move now because like.
Yeah, you have to. But I was just thinking it's like either whether it's Dig or Doomsday. I think it's Dig. Because like, yeah, you can't really get Consult. If you get Doomsday and you target Doomsday, and they force the Doomsday, and you're dead. Yeah, I think I would get the Dig. Probably. Not sure.
You can't Mystical Tutor for Necro.
Yeah, that would have been good. I would have definitely.
Yeah, I would have done that too, but probably just leave the Ancestral and Mystical in the graveyard. I guess the Mystical doesn't matter, so I should delve that.
Yeah,
both.
it's like that and something else. I don't know. It's recall and something.
Our opponent's just playing Breach. That's what it is. It does make sense for it to be Breach.
That might be it, yeah.
Thank you, Justin, letting us know.
I somehow suspect that. Oh, it's resolving. Ooh. Then we have many good cards there. So it's kind of it's consult and gush or consult and force, and or it's consult and mana source. But I think consult and gush is better than consult and mana source.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either consult and gush, or consult and force. Because like if you draw the mana source and you have the force, then you're probably just winning. I don't know. I think it's probably still consult and gush, but
am I gushing this turn or not?
No, you're not gushing this turn. It's just that you have the mana to cast Consult Oracle next turn, and gush is kind of better than a land.
Right.
And the upside of Force Consult would be that if you draw a land or any mana source that is not Dark Ritual, you could have like maybe already killed them next turn.
I'm just hoping that.
But it's like the fail rates on taking force is a little bit higher.
Hoping they don't have the Breach kill, obviously.
Yeah.
Breach Lotus, Brain Freeze, GG.
Yeah, that's another reason to maybe take force there. I don't know, but
Tundra, Hercules Recall?
Hercules. I think it's still Breach, probably. Okay, that is interesting, because now, I think, now you Darker it and Vamp. No. Yeah, and I would just Dark it Vamp first and see if they counter that. Okay, and now I think... Oh, damn, I think I'm... Like, I guess you could draw into a blue card, maybe. I didn't think that through, to be honest. I thought we were gonna like take Fluster, but they have way too much mana. That was. Oh, maybe you could. No, that doesn't work as well. Take Probe. Could take Force. Could take Demonic Tutor in case everything like. No, that's bad. I think maybe that was bad. I might have talked into a bad player.
I mean, we could take Necropotence.
You could just take Necro and cast that with Gush, yeah. If Gush resolves. Problem is if Gush doesn't resolve. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was a little bit too fast. That was just not great by me, but let's take Necro. There was no time to wait on the Vampiric. I think maybe it's fine. We should have thought about what we were casting. If they counter that Gush, we're winning probably. Or I don't know. Because then we just replay it and go for the kill.
So
I think the play was fine. I'm not sure if Necro is the card that we put on top. I'm not sure what to put on top, but it's like something like that. If we had Ancestor in our deck still, it would be that. Okay, now I think you play the Necro. Because if you go for the other thing, then you don't have the Necro mana anymore. And Necro might win anyway. Okay, yeah. That happens. Yeah. I think that was fine actually, but obviously they have a deck, and it's kind of hard to win from here.
This does not look like Breach. I guess it still
Yeah,
could be, but like a Braid and Hercules in your main deck means like less.
it's more like a pile. It's like Keeper or whatever people said about these decks. Like cards.
I don't know what's going on over there. It just looks like Grixis control, circa whatever era you want to pick. Maybe they'll deck themselves. Just untap, I guess. Right? No reason to cast this.
Yeah. So, how many cards do they have?
5.
Question is it getting any better?
It kind of feels like it's not, but
Yeah. I think you fetch, cast Oracle, and just accept your loss. You could hope that they have no pitch card and have to hardcast Force or something. It's like the hope we have. Because the problem is, it can't really get any better because we don't have recall and stuff in our deck anymore to just drop cards. But yeah, they have Fluster. Yeah, that's the one we can do the least versus. So we get Oracle Trigger, an Oracle Trigger, but it won't really do much.
put Demonic Tutor on top.
Yeah, I think you put Demonic on top. That could theoretically do shit, but
Theoretically.
we are probably just dying to the card selection.
Oh, this was not a fun game.
I mean, we are kind of scammed, you know.
We were scammer squatted, yeah. There's no cruise in this deck.
The reason Doomsday doesn't play Cruise is drawing. So the Delph spells aren't good post Doomsday, so you don't want too many of them anyway. And the deck isn't good at like.
What the hell? It is Breach, but why is there a Murktide Regent?
I have no clue. I'm gonna ask Nam what the hell this is afterwards. Okay. Oh, this is a bad matchup as well, though, because they have Brain Freeze. Sometimes it's kind of hard to play around Brain Freeze.
Bro, we're just gonna beat down with Street Wraith and Whole Breacher. I don't know what you're talking about.
True.
Or not Whole Breacher, this one. That's the same
This
card.
guy, Duress, and don't think you want any of the other cards. I don't think you want Layla, and I think you want to side out Chain of Weeper. I think that's it.
Yep, I think so.
I think we're fine.
Should I tell him he betrayed Hogak?
Yeah, he betrayed everyone.
It's so Sith. Betraying your loved ones is definitely Sith.
Your loved Hogaks and Grave Crawlers. This is an awkward hand. But we kind of have, like, we can consult for Dark Red in a pinch. We kind of have mostly good draws in our deck if we keep this, but it's sort of, yeah, I think it's good enough to keep. Oh, he said Hogak betrayed me first. I see. I see.
Do I cycle first?
No, I don't. I mean, if you would draw exactly Darkwood or Black Lotus, it would be good.
That's 5, so you're less than 20%. Or you're less than 10%, rather. Alright.
Yeah, I feel like if you draw enough black sources, the street could get better. You could wait one turn here, I think.
Try consult.
Depending on what they do. Whoa! That's sort of sweet. Yeah, so the main problem with consulting here is if you exile too many cards from your pile, you might. Oh, we have Force of Negation as well. No, I don't think you can consult. The problem is that this Force of Negation is not Force of Will.
Try do that to that.
If you consider doing that, I would Street Grave cycle first, because then you know whether you need to pitch card or not. Okay, yeah, I think you do that. I think you could hardcast it maybe.
As well.
Like, I don't know if even if they have days, it's kind of good if they're easier. Then they probe, yeah. Okay.
I think I should cast this still.
Yeah, you should cast that. I think.
If they pirate, whatever. Ooh. Those are both good, I think.
Yeah, I would draw the Fluster.
Yep. And play
I'd
UC.
play UC because that means that in theoretically you could cast Doomsday next turn if you wanted.
Yep. Do I care?
Okay, I mean, you. How many cards do they have left?
4.
4. I think you care actually, because you can't really counter. So the reason for this is if you go Gush next turn and Doomsday, then they can just force your Doomsday, and you can't Fluster or force back, and then they just untap with deck after that.
Right.
So there is no good way for you to make use of Force of Negation or Fluster here.
Right.
So you kind of have to expect that your Doomsday gets countered, which means that you have to counter the deck. Yeah. Basically. So the next turn, we're just going for the Doomsday. We're just like float double black Gush, I think. They would most likely counter the Doomsday, but that's fine, I think. Because it's just a 1 for 2 trade. If they counter Gush, it's also fine. Because then they need another counter. Oh, we drew a force. That's nice. Yeah, now we cast Doomsday and see what happens. And I think if they force, we force back. Yeah, I think you force back. They pitched. Well, they pitched preordain, I guess. Okay, so Doomsday resolves.
They pitched force.
Oh, they pitched force? Oh, no, we pitched preordain. Never mind. Yeah.
So, can we play around Brain Freeze? Not really. I mean, if they have spell
If they have spell Brain Freeze, I think you're dead. But it's also like a 1-of, right? Or 2-of. That's why the matchup is bad. Like, there's some situation like you can theoretically play around Brain Freeze. I didn't feel like this was a situation where you could do it. I think since there's no way to play around Brain Freeze, you will just do the most like resilient pile that plays around the counters. So probably start off by casting Recall next turn, and then if they counter Recall, you want to have a good pile after that, which means probably Recall, Oracle, Lotus, and then maybe just second Oracle and something else.
we're gonna have
Duress,
two
maybe.
lands.
Maybe it's
Duress.
duress. Maybe it's duress. It could be duress. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's duress.
So
Yeah.
we'll only get to draw 3 of our 4 cards this way, right?
Yes. So you would leave the second oracle on bottom, probably.
Sure.
And with recall, you draw into duress lotus or
Okay.
oracle. And you also have consult for oracle in case. I don't know. But,
Doesn't that not work? It exiles your 6 cards.
I mean, why wouldn't it work? I don't understand. Yeah, it exiles your library. That's the point.
We
of
could
it.
also gush second down case ancestral gets countered.
Gush second down. What is a down?
I mean, I guess what they're saying is you put gush here, but I don't think that does much, right?
Oh, you mean they meant gush as the second card? Yeah. You ancestral, they counter ancestral, and then you draw gush. But I mean that I get that, but at the same time, huh? I mean, I get what it does, but then you are cutting another card from the. And at that point, like, I definitely want to keep the duress. I think, at least. I definitely want double oracle. Because that's a way to lose, like, if they let recall resolve and just counter the oracles. And if you don't have Lotus in the pile, you can't duress plus oracle the same turn. So, I mean, you could cut one oracle for a gush. Technically. Maybe that's better. I don't know. Yeah, you could put a gush instead of the second oracle. Maybe that accomplishes things. I'm really not sure, actually. No, I kind of feel like the second oracle is better, but I'm not sure. But
All right.
I would put the second oracle there. I feel like it's safer. Maybe against breach you have to risk things more, but so second oracle on bottom, and then wait, no, I think it's oracle, lotus, duress, recall. Because in this case, if they counter recall, the next draw you will have is the duress. So in case they tutor for something or dig, you can duress them the turn after. Okay, so they just recall themselves. Yeah, well, that's bad. But
God, we're always scammed. Always scammed.
Well, can't beat the scams.
We couldn't win. I think it was just impossible.
No, I think so. There is ways to play around brain freeze, but we just were not in a game where you could have done that because we were priced into casting Doomsday that turn. Otherwise, the gash mana would have went away.
Yeah,
so, and everything would be bad. So I think you just couldn't play around it. I think the game would have been a lot different if the force of negation was a force of will. Then we could have played much different, but.
Also, we lost game 1 because we thought they were Hogak and not a blue.
Yeah, we just got scammed. It's just not a real loss. It's just.
Nasi 5-0 incoming.
Yeah, we are 4-0, I think.
Nasi 5-0 is incoming. Oh, what a game. That was sad. GG's. Is that a sad emoji? I can't even tell. Google it. Oh, it's cold face emoji. I see. I'm just thinking about that game. I don't think, like, not. How much we could have done? I think that game 2.
I mean, you could have like let the deck resolve, but at the same time, then, I mean, if we knew that we would draw Force of Will with Gush, we could have let the deck resolve. But
Right.
I don't know. I mean, then he can still deck us and recall us, and we're also dead, so that doesn't really do anything. But like, there was just so many ways for him to mess with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if the Force of Negation was a Force of Will, you could have just let the deck resolve, tap, Gush, Doomsday. But then you don't have Fluster for Brain Freeze anyway, so I don't know. You would have needed to have like a Street Rave or something to win. You need like another draw, like another 0-cost draw card to beat that, or you needed to like, yeah. It was an awkward situation. I don't know. Maybe a Doomsday Master could have like found a way out there. I don't feel like. Maybe Gush into Fluster and then try the Oracle Consult.
You can look at the deck list via the Cardboard Life extension if you have a question. Do you keep this?
We are sort of on a standard build. Yes, I would keep this. It's not the best, but we have like a bunch of good draws. I would definitely cycle the Street Wave with this hand. Oh, I would actually just UC Portent. Because getting Wastelanded here isn't that bad. Okay. So we don't know what we're up against. Oh,
I see. It is close to the standard build.
it is almost standard, I think. Maybe the Chain of Vapor isn't standard or something. Most people play the Watery Grave even. I would. So the problem with this is, if you keep the Doomsday here, that's obviously Doomsday is a little bit better than Necro, but you have the same problem. So I would shuffle this. Like the good thing about this would be the Fluster in the third Black Source, but I think I would shuffle this.
I
think most decks, you could beat most decks with the Necro anyway, so you don't really need the Doomsday. There's obviously some matchups where the Necro doesn't. Okay, so this might be Bug.
Bug or PO.
Okay, Time Walk. So it's the Sedgewitch deck. Okay, now you play Fetch, play Brainstorm, I think. Drawing both islands, not the greatest here, probably.
If they blast, I'm going to misstep the blast.
Yeah, you have to, kind of. Okay, well... Yeah,
I think I just ponder looking for the Doomsday instead?
I don't know how many days they play, but yeah. I think that's fine to do that. Yeah, I think you put away both islands. I mean, the one life point could matter, but also the third black could matter, so... Oh, we got the Doomsday.
I think I'm just gonna go for it, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you might want to do that. Because the Necro is kind of mopey.
I mean, they already have 4 power in play, right? So...
Yeah, I mean...
Right.
Okay, so... way to win this. We get on to 7, they attack us for 4, we get on to 3. Easiest way to not lose next turn to their counter is... I think involves Gush. Because Recall could get misstepped and flustered easier. So it's Gush plus... What else? What else? I think it's Gush, Lotus.
We already have an
And
Oracle
then, like,
in hand, if that matters.
sort of matters. I'm just thinking if there's like good way to play around nonsense like Bolt. Do they play Bolt even? No, right?
I'm not sure. Like, they could.
Yeah, I'm thinking around. Oh, we're going down to 3 anyway. No, then we can put Probe into the pile. Yeah, that's good. So you put Probe into the pile as well, and you will start off your next turn with Gush. Then you're at 2 cards, and then you draw into Probe Lotus, and then Probe draws into another backup spell. Now Probe draws into another Oracle is the thing, yeah. So you want the second Oracle, and I have no clue what the last card could be. Probably it doesn't matter too much. Oh, maybe it's like a land, or maybe it's a land or recall. Those cards don't really matter. I think you could also pick Consult. I would pick UC, I guess. Something like that. Or you probe and then you...
So we have no counters for anything, but they probably don't have a counter.
The thing is, like... I mean, you could put Flusterstorm in there. But what are you going to Fluster? And it's like, it's better to just double Oracle the turn, I feel like. To play. And if they counter the Gush, you are dead, I think, anyway. Because you go down to 3 and then they hit you again, so yeah. Yeah, I would do this pile. There's probably a better card than the UC, but I don't know which card that would be. UC bottom, then wait.
Then Oracle.
You Gush, and then you draw into Probe Lotus. Yeah. Then Oracle, Lotus, Probe, Gush. Gush at the first. Probably. I'm not sure. Something like that.
Yeah. Something like that is right.
Yeah. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, now you just cast your Taxing Probe, I think.
For life, right?
I think for life, because it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, God forbid they have gut shot, but I don't think
If
they
I
have
get gut
that.
shotted, I will be semi-mad, but...
Okay, what do they have?
Oh.
So they have push,
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're dead. We have 2 oracles. Notably, if you paid the mana, you could have like fetched into the last UC, and then but like if they had double push here, that would have mattered. So maybe we should have paid them.
Well, they only have 1 Black Source, right?
Oh, they only have 1 Black Source. Yeah, okay.
I guess if they had push Bolt, but we lose to Bolt anyways. So
yeah, it's really hard to construct a scenario where that matters, I think. Okay, so we beat that finally because they had a Sphinx in hand.
So that means they have Tinker for Sphinx of the Steel Wind, but like whatever.
Yeah, they're the Tinker Sandwich deck, but with red. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. Don't know if you need anything else. Don't want the chain. You could bring in the Fatal Push to kill the witch, but it costs 3 life as well.
Yeah, I don't like it. Probably just leave.
Then you could bring you could bring in the agent for the Tinker and stuff because they also have black. I don't know. It's a tutor or it's an agent, something like that. Maybe a tutor is better. I don't know. It's like
I think a tutor is probably better, and it's probably mystical over vamp because of the life loss.
Could be. Oh, you could also side out Necro. Well, I guess if they don't have the Sedgewitch, Necro is kind of good. So.
Yep. I think you're supposed to leave it, but that game we were never casting a Necro because they were too fast.
Yeah.
we scammed our opponent that game. They thought, haha, fatal push. But if you check the pile, there were no Thassa's oracles in there. This is probably a keep, right?
It's a keep. It's also very reactive, but it's a keep.
This would be the perfect Library of Alexandria hand.
Oh yeah, if we drew that, it would be nice.
I'm not forcing that.
Never, yeah.
I got Ancestral, alright.
I think you just duress them, because I don't think they play Wastelands or anything like that.
Agreed.
Just take the recall. Give me that
Ooh.
recall.
Okay, I'm probably gonna daze that Sedgemoor Witch.
Yeah, if they cast that, we daze that. So we can kind of play like pseudo control for a couple turns. So
Tainted
that we can,
back
like,
control.
enter it. Tainted back control. That deck was really a control deck
I know.
in some way.
It
They
was...
played the walk. They gave us free info.
They should play the Stranded. I mean, it's a fetch, I guess, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Do
I
cycle?
think you go. I'm not sure actually. I think I would just use your preordain here. The reason why I would keep the street is like you have enough mana to cast a Doomsday. Oh, it's 6. So it's like one card's too few. I mean, you could still do it. I mean, I'm not sure. maybe it's worth it. That's hard. That's hard. It's like
it would take 2
if we had one more
turns,
card,
though, right?
yeah, it's 2 more turns. Yeah.
I think I don't want either of these then.
Yeah, I guess
I could keep the Wraith for Delve cards.
I don't think that's worth the life.
I think this is bottom. Alright, that's much better. So
More like
Sedgemoor
Witch.
Nice.
To go.
Nice.
Yeah, if you had one more card in hand, you would snap off the library.
Oh, I agree. Then it would just be so easy to win, but I mean...
So they preordained them fetched. I don't agree with that, sort of. That resolves, I guess.
They have Pyro 3 unknowns now, so...
Yeah.
Fetch for UC, play Preordain, probably?
Yeah. I think fetching here is fine, because if you get to find the library now, it's okay again.
If they blast this...
I think you let that go if they blast it. It's not ideal, but...
Ooh!
Oh, this is good. So I think you won both, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the Fluster in my hand right now.
Yeah.
And just say go, obviously.
Passing. And then, depending on what they do, we can either jam Necro or wait another turn to get the blue card or have mana for Fluster.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Come on, play Tinker. Play Tinker, you know you want to.
Tinker would be pretty powerful here, but also it would not resolve.
Yeah.
Okay. Just leaving up shit. Well, that kind of makes me want to just play land and pass, honestly. It's very tempting to cast the Necro, but at the same time, no.
Go on.
Maybe you should have played them.
I should have to get a tapped water grave. Yeah.
But we're playing vintage, so we're not thinking of Shocklands. Okay. Oh, this is recall or what?
Yeah.
You might just wanna hardcast Force of Negation to recall.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna main phase it now, because they want to draw into their sorcery speeds broken cards, like broken, quote unquote broken cards. Sedgemoor Witch and Tinker.
They have a hell of a lot of 3-mana broken cards, don't they? Has anyone liked Sedgemoor Witch? Like, it was like hot for a while, and then now it kind of looks like it's not doing very well. What? Oh, I don't care, I think, right? Consistently puts up some finishes. Well, what are we talking like? What sort of win percentage are we talking about?
The sandwich deck, or what
Yeah,
are we talking?
sandwich.
The sandwich deck.
Sandwich. I'm getting hungry. I need to go eat a sandwich.
I mean, I don't think it plays bad cards, but
I guess its
it,
problem
it
is that it's
has.
probably clunky, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on the metagame, it can be pretty good because Sedgwick is allowed to play many Flusterstorms, and so if Flusterstorm is good, the deck is good, kind of that thing. We drew Doomsday as well. I think,
I want to cast Necro, I think.
I think you want to cast Necro. Yeah, you don't really need to fetch yet, right? Because you're not Doomsdaying.
Can't Pyroblast it, which is nice.
So they probably need to force this. Oh, they recall in response. So if you force and they blast the force, and then you fluster, it's 5. That they have 2 mana left. So that doesn't really counter both, is the problem. So I'm not sure. Maybe you're supposed to let the recall resolve him. I'm not sure. The problem is I really don't want to let the recall resolve is the thing.
What if I just cycle Street Wraith looking for a blue card?
Um, I'm not sure about that because, like, imagine so you force the recall, they blast, then you fluster the blast or whatever, and then everything resolves and they counter the necropotence after. Then you can still next turn Doomsday into Street Raid, and like you can
Oh,
insta
I
win with
see.
the Street Raid.
So you
So
want to force?
I kind of want to force Pit's Force of Negation. I'm not sure what the core play is there, but I feel like that's more likely to be correct. Like the Street Raid has some value. It's not much, but it's a little bit. Because letting you insta win helps if they just play Sedgwick next turn by playing Twilker.
Right.
And it's not like a blue card would be that much better. Because you would pitch something, and then you would have Force of Negation, I guess, for their next thing. It's like not that good. You need to draw exactly another force that would that would do something, but it's still almost the same.
So if they blast, I'm just flustering the Ancestral, right?
Yeah, I think then you're just
Yep.
all the copies go
On
into Ancestral
Ancestral, yep.
Recall. Yeah.
Yeah, no one plays Pyroclasm in Vintage, really. Like, a long time ago, a few people used to play, like, Slice and Dice and Oath, but that's, like, very,
Slice and die.
very fringe people that,
Very fringe people.
most sane people would not do that. The answer was,
I registered Pyroclasm for one of the only IRL vintage tournaments I played.
was it good?
It was sort of good because 4 Mentor was legal.
Oh, I
But
see.
I
So,
also played Sulfur Elemental in
oh my
vintage.
god.
It's just
Oh.
because everyone had 4 Mentor. But that's a very long time ago. And then I didn't play many IRL vintage tournaments.
Yeah, Tabernacle's a better sweeper than Pyroclasm. Trust me, we know about the Tabernacle at Pentrelville. There's a theme song for that. It's "Take Me to Church" on Saturday night. So they already had the Force. Right.
So they forced the Necro.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing else good to force on the stack, right?
Yep. Which means next turn we can just
Try to kill them.
Doomsday Street Wave kill them if it works.
I think I'm
And
gonna
like,
go for it, obviously.
yeah, I think we're gonna go for it. Okay, sank the Ancestral back for the 100th time. Okay, you just Doomsday. Same. Well, now I would cycle in response. I mean, probably doesn't matter because you can't really draw much. But like the Street Wave, like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, maybe there was no reason to cycle in response, but we were gonna cycle anyway, I think. So I think
Well,
you
if we
can as
draw
well.
Force of
Might as
Will.
well do.
No, if we draw Force.
Oh,
we
I
can-
guess. Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
It actually would have mattered, yeah, because you could just pay one copy as well. Yeah, you're right.
Could draw Force
Yeah,
of Will or Dark Writ. Yeah.
yeah. No, you're right. You definitely cycle in response. Yeah.
I feel like we're losing now, though.
Yeah, this looks like we are dead. They finally got their recall through. The problem.
Yeah. Well,
The power of Mystic Sanctuary.
they cast it 3 times this game, right?
Yeah.
And they cast a Night's Whisper. Red Horde. Can't do anything. I think I just main phase did great because they left up a Black Source.
Yeah. I think you're supposed to DTT first. And there's a lot of like fetch lands, days, Necro, I think is dead, second preordain, one of the Fosters, Street Faith. They all don't matter too much because you have so many replacements. Interesting. So, if they don't have anything, this might actually be a win. Wait, let me see.
But we have to.
Oh yeah, it's not.
It's not.
You could like time walk and hope that you draw a draw spell. Like time walk and then untap, and then if you draw something that draws a card, you win.
I think that's the best play, actually. Right?
Probably.
So
Yeah,
I should take Time Walk Doomsday then, in that case.
Yeah. Then you have a bunch of outs, I guess. And I would play around days, so like I would play library outs, play around days. Because I think the Sedgwick deck plays days.
Probably does. It makes
like
sense.
1 or 2. Okay, they flustered the Time Walk. Yeah, well.
Wait, they didn't fluster a dig? Oh no, they couldn't, right?
They couldn't. Now
this is
just
probably
getting
good.
buried,
Yeah.
saying card advantage.
Oh no.
And deck. Yeah, they're just gonna draw a billion cards now.
How many counters are they down? They still have a bunch of counters left in their deck, don't they?
Yeah.
Feels like I'm dead.
They just cast too many Ancestral Recalls. They cast freaking 4.
Oh no, it's a cruise too.
More recalls. Cool.
Come on. Was there a way for us to win this? It didn't really feel like close at any point.
I was thinking about ways to like sneak through a win thing. I think we played pretty proactive. Like we were going for it all the time, and that's the only way to beat their over and over recalling. No, I think there was no way to beat that many Ancestral. I mean, they have 24 cards in their deck left. They're like, they just cast recall every turn, basically. That's kind of hard to beat for any deck.
Is it time for the Witch? No, it's time for Tinker. Is it time for the Citadel?
Oh, it's time for the Citadel, apparently.
Draft weekend Citadel.
Oh yeah.
This was a fun card in Booster Draft. It wasn't really overpowered, actually.
Oh really? I thought it was. Yeah, I guess maybe
No,
because
the life matters a lot, you know.
the life matters a lot in limited, and all the walkers that are in play.
Oh, they have 12 cards left! Soon to be 14.
Wait, they just had 24. Just
I
drew
know.
12 cards while I looked away for 1 second. Within the blink of an eye, they draw the whole deck. Who needs to play High Tide? You can play Xerox Witch deck that just draws their deck with Ancestral Recalls.
Breach Ancestral Recall.
Oh, that's also sweet, yeah. And now they have a Narset, so we can't even draw cards. What a scam.
We could have had it if they had nothing. Alright, I'm
Yeah,
done here.
they probably have everything though.
I'm done here.
Yeah.
I could cast Brainstorm. I would have to put both of these on top of my deck, and nothing else would happen.
Yeah, it would be like almost like one with nothing.
It would be one with nothing, but if you have two Terminuses you really want to get on top of your deck would be better.
True.
I kind of like this more now that I've seen what they're doing, but
Maybe Fail Push isn't that bad if we see Dreadhorde Arcanist. I don't know. No, I think Agent is probably better. I'm not sure actually.
maybe I don't want any of them and just hold pat.
I think you definitely want to race them, kind of, because like
Yeah.
they are grinding you out by turn 5 or 6 or something. They will have more cards than you, because their deck is like all the Delve spells plus Pyroblast plus ways to recast with Sanctuary and Arcanist.
Alright, I'm not going to side this in or this in. Though.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a brutal game. We got destroyed. Destroyed.
Destroyed.
Destroyed. I don't think so. I think like Tudor trying to sneak in the win is probably better.
Yeah, I mean Tutor is obviously not the best card.
Fuck is this? I guess I just jam.
It's better than going to 5, I think.
I'm bottoming one of them though. I think.
Yeah, you don't need 3 Doomsday yet. Probably. Oh, maybe actually you wanted 3. I guess no. Consultation does something. So you just turn 1 DD. Oh, they mulligan to 5.
Yep.
If opponent forces, do you consult for days?
There's only 2 dazes in the deck.
Very good question. So you see Lotus. I mean, you definitely cast Doomsday turn 1 here.
Yep.
There's no way not to cast Doomsday turn 1 here. But oh, it just resolved. Okay, so how can we lose? It's the main question.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't seem. Do you think they have breach?
No.
Don't think they're a breach. I think they're a fair, quote unquote, fair deck with Tinker, basically. So, yeah. Main question is how do you start off the pile here again? It's like it's either Gush or Recall, and maybe a Probe somewhere in between, and then Oracle, and maybe Lotus. They definitely have at least one Oracle. I just try to imagine what their next turn could be. They will just leave up a counterspell, I think. So I think Gush is not the best card, so you want Recall.
Mm-hmm.
Start up by casting Recall, they Pyroblast it. Then your next draw is gonna be Jutaxian Probe into into Gush or into the Lotus Oracle. No, then that's not enough cards. Yeah, I don't think you want Jutaxian Probe actually. I think you want Gush and then maybe second Oracle. Because what will happen is you draw the Recall gets countered. And then you draw Gush, cast Gush. If Gush gets countered. Huh. I mean, it could also be like Street Wave. You can play around the counter maybe. Oh, maybe you want Duress in the pile just for safety reasons. Yeah, maybe okay. I think I have it. I think you cut the Gush again and put Flusterstorm in the pile actually. I think that's the best thing. And then next turn, if Rico gets countered, then you draw into Fluster, and then you draw into Oracle.
I know. No, you can't consult with only 5 cards in your deck. They get exiled.
No, Consult is not spoils, is the thing. Consult can, though, be nice later. But yeah, I think this is the pile. I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but this feels like close to the best pile to me. And then you just one Oracle to the bottom.
Consult to beat Endurance, yeah. Alright.
Yeah, Consult is good against Endurance, but they don't have Endurance in their deck. But yeah. You Oracle bottom, and then so they counter that. I think Lotus, Oracle, Fluster, Recall, yeah. Because that plays around most of the bullshit, I feel like, in that order. But yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Do I initiate by casting it, or do I just wait to draw the Fluster?
I think you wait.
I think so too.
I think you wait. That's so now if you recall a response and they counter it.
Yeah, that's
interesting that it's interesting that they didn't play a land.
I think I'm supposed to let it go then.
I think you're supposed to let it go as well. Obviously it sucks if they play land and have Fluster up now, but just a little bit.
So I now initiate, right?
I think you do, yeah.
I just noticed we're not going to have an extra mana for
the second Oracle, yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, but
yeah, there was a way to play this slower with Gush.
Maybe the Ancestral was a scam.
Yeah, that's why I often put Gush into the pile instead of it, but then you don't have the option to go for it the next turn. I mean, maybe you should have cast a Recall as well. Kind of hard to, like, know how to play it out against these type of decks, because our opponent's just been sitting there leaving up counter magic. But it's like, is that even enough and stuff like that? If they counter the recall here, it's actually like, well, it depends on what they have, but it could be good for us. Could also be bad for us, obviously. Yeah, Gush would have been better if we play like this. So we should have cast a recall, I think.
Okay.
From before, yeah. Either cast recall or put Gush into the pile.
Right.
Was better, for sure. Yeah, that's a complicated part. Even if you know how to like if you know the piles or whatever you want to do, you have to think about in what order you're going to cast the cards in the next two turns, because your opponent is also in the game. It's not just one person building Doomsday piles.
Right. And that's,
so yeah,
I think that's the hard part of the deck, really. Like, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you can't really account for anything specific here. You can just, I think the best thing you can do is like, okay, my opponent could have Pyroblast and Flusterstorm, or they could have Sedgemoor Witch, but they will not cast that because it's not good against in this situation to cast a threat. This is also what makes Doomsday powerful. Okay, technically, oh yeah, you just let it go. You can't even fluster it anyway. Yeah, I think that's fine. And now what you're supposed to do is, I mean, hope that they. Well, it depends.
They only have 2 cards, so I don't think they can do 2 bananas, but obviously it's like kind of dangerous. Right.
Main question is, do you just, I mean, now you drew it, Thassa's Oracle. I mean, you could cast it and just see what happens, because you will have another one. But you could also wait for a Lotus on the other one, and then in one turn you play both and have Fluster back up.
I think I'm supposed to do that, actually.
I'm not sure.
Well, I think the reason you're supposed to do that is they haven't done anything, and this feels like a hard cast force.
Yeah, that's one reason. There's many pros and cons to both, because if you wait for too long, they might find Ancestral and Ancestral you.
True.
But if you don't wait long enough, they might just counter both Oracles, and then the Fluster doesn't do anything. This is a problem. Yeah, and there was probably either a slightly better way to play this pile or to build it. But maybe we should have cast Ancestral a little bit earlier. So now we're already committed. Now we're waiting, and then next turn we just Lotus Oracle. I think.
Oh.
Because that also makes the Fluster live.
It's funny, they can't even die to the Mana Crypt before we deck out.
Yeah, that's sort of interesting. That's one part that's good about this Sedgemoor Witch deck. They can actually play Mana Crypt, and it won't be bad. Okay, now you just Oracle. That should be fine, because they have 4 mana to pay with the Fluster. And play Oracle. And now the Fluster counter is a counter. Oh, okay.
Alright, well...
How didn't they have anything?
Because they mulliganed to 5 or 4, right? 5, right?
Yeah, well, their hand must have been like, I don't know.
Bolus Citadel, Sphinx of the Steel Wind.
Yeah, maybe Sedgemoor Witch, because they would not have cast that probably.
Guess not.
Because it wouldn't have killed us in time anyway.
I think that was not well played in that game, personally. But could have
put a
tough one pile.
We should have put Gush into the pile or cast Recall earlier, I think.
For what it's worth, if you didn't have second Oracle, you could consult plus Fluster to beat the Pyroblast.
That is true.
We would have had to crack the first. We would have had to crack Lotus for triple blue to cast the Oracle first, right? Because we have black, black, blue, 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 blue as our mana sources?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have used the consult
As
with the
plus
plus.
one storm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's cool. It's better that you have the second oracle, but it's true. Maybe we should have put duress into the. We could have also played it really, really slow. Like you could have put like duress, force, fluster, oracle, and just not have any mana sources. I guess for that situation, it would have been better if you had more duress. The problem was that we don't have a third mana source, so that we can't back up the oracle without a 0 mana counter. So in that case, you kind of have to put Lotus into the pile, and then it ends similar to that. I think maybe we should have put Gush into the pile simply.
Right. Okay.
But or like if we play this pile, then we need to cast a recall ASAP, because then you'd have enough time to cast one oracle and then the other, even if they counter the first oracle. And so it ends just being the same as the way we played it out, just with giving them like a one turn less window. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yep.
I think Gush is probably a little bit safer, but yeah, I'm not sure.
It would have been a lot safer, I think, but it's hard to.
Because you don't deck if you cast the Gush and then they counter the Oracle. Like imagine you cast Recall and they counter the Lotus, and then they counter the Oracle, and then you're dead. That's not great. Yeah, I think should have put Gush in the belt probably.
Yep, that's life. You live, you learn, and sometimes you're not dead because your opponent has no cards. I think the first. I don't know. Doomsday is pretty good, I think, still, but I'm too. Like, if I lost because I couldn't figure out I was supposed to put Gush instead of Ancestral Recall, I would probably lose it. This is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure still. I mean, if we just casted the Recall earlier, it would have also been fine, I think. But like, yeah, that's the problem with Doomsday.
This is barely coming out with too many expensive ones for 15 proxy. Is this deck that expensive if you have 15 proxies? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, really?
Oh, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. It kind of looks like you can play it, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. And what are the other 6?
I don't know.
Do you count the UCs?
Probably UC, yeah.
You count 4 UC, and then you have 2?
Even my own no
Oh,
forces.
no force.
Just...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. So 5.
Yeah, then you're like 2 cards off.
But I think this deck is obviously pretty good. But there's a lot of really good.
The deck would be really, really cheap without force. Like for a 15 proxy card tournament, if someone lends you 2 forces, then you have it, right? Because nothing else in the deck other than fetch lands maybe and opposition agent are worth anything. Maybe Leyline is worth something. Like the cantrips. I don't think Necro or Doomsday are worth anything. I don't know. Maybe the DT is like a few bucks and stuff.
Alright, we got a question from one of your faves, Gershi.
Have you considered trying Slay of Hand at Airport? No, I haven't considered anything because I haven't built this deck. But people play Portent for the mirror. I think Slate of Hand might be better because it does the same as Portent when drawing into your pile. Actually, Slate of Hand is kind of better than Portent to play around Narset, right?
Right.
Portent is only better in the mirror if you have it at random. I'm not a huge fan of Portent anyway. I probably wouldn't play it. I probably would play something else instead. I don't know if Slate of Hand is that good either, but it's definitely better than Portent against Narset.
Oh, you suggest Sleight of Hand? Well, the trick is, and the actual trick is, I'm too dumb to play this by myself, so it's not happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also not sure if I will play this tomorrow, but it's pretty good. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you need to chain of vapor. I don't know if you need. I don't know if you want the portent. You could main deck a duress.
I like this sort of hand art the best.
Oh damn!
I like the
my brother had a playset foil signed State of Hand when Modern got announced.
Oh wow, that's.
And then he like sold or traded it for like, I guess he sold it on Magic Card Market for like 50 per card, I think.
That's crazy.
But I think that's too low by now. It's like, I think like a foil Sleight of Hand from that set is like a lot right now, but I don't know.
Well, there's only one foil, and it's this one. Oh no, this one is also foil.
Yeah, there's another one foil, but it's New Border.
Oh, this is also foil as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of foils now. Huh.
Yeah, Duress main deck seems good actually, because you can put it into your pile. I don't know. I thought Vintage was about dumping your hand and turning cards sideways.
That one. My back?
Oh yeah.
Happened.
We're offline for a sec.
Alright, looks like I'm back, and I don't know what happened. Looked like a Wi-Fi stutter. Sorry about that, chat. We're back. Probably not too much more going to happen anyways, though, so... thanks for being here?